FightNetRadio.com with Andrew and Lee, talking boxing, combat, sports, comedy, football, and everything kick-ass. All on FightNetRadio.com. Fight Net Radio!
LasVegasDiscount.net's the best there is. Save up to 50% on your next Vegas trip. And travel, rental, shows, and tours. Find the deals you're looking for. LasVegasDiscount.net. LasVegasDiscount.net. If you're going to Vegas for deals that are the best, visit LasVegasDiscount.net.
Hola, soy Julio César Chávez.
And lights out, baby. Lights out all day.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We gon' know. I got eyes and ears everywhere. I got friends all over the world, man.
Who gives a shit with White? He's a piece of crap.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
You are listening to Ken Norton on Fight Net Radio. And I've been thinking that I would come out of retirement just to knock out Lee Honey.
Fight Net Radio, Lee Honish, Andrew Lapachet, bringing you... I feel like that should be our tagline. What's the tagline from the song? Fighting and football and everything. Kick ass. Could be a t-shirt. By the way, let's start off right there, shall we? It's a gratuitous commercial right from the gate. Go to fightnetradio.com. Okay? Easy, right? Click on the FNR store. We have new shirts, and we're doing them at cost because I'm thinking from a promotional standpoint, Andrew. While the FNR Supreme Mike Tyson shirt is popular by far, nobody's bought any shirts. I'm just saying that out loud. But people talk like the Mike Tyson Supreme shirt is the most popular. I made what I call the basic bitch. Are you a basic bitch, Andrew?
Those are nice. Yeah, they don't need to be all flashy. I like the hoodie right there. It's a nice one.
Yeah, they come in 3 different styles. We call them the basic bitch. If you're a regular of the show, you will understand the joke about being a basic bitch.
I hate that. No, I hate that one, Lee. If you're going to call it the basic bitch, damn.
It's the basic bitch. It comes in multiple styles. And let me get Andrew's favorite color up. So you can get it in pink. Andrew loves pink. And on the back, it says established 2006. My only request, since Andrew and I will only be making 40 cents per shirt when you purchase at these prices, is that when somebody goes, hey, what's Fight Net Radio? You go, it's these 2 guys I listen to. Go to fightnetradio.com. That's all we're asking. All right. We're doing these shirts at cost. They don't have anything embarrassing. They're not any of our inside running jokes. And you can get them in literally every color out there. I like the black. Andrew really technically likes the silver and gray. So whatever color you're into, we have them. They come in multiple styles. We have hoodies, right? Comes in black. It's got a kangaroo pocket on the front. It's got the 2006 on the back. Great shirt. And there's a basic t-shirt. So the basic bitch. And if you look in the corner, I'm not lying about this. We only make 50 cents per shirt. I even put it in the title. Okay. This isn't about Andrew and I making money. This is about spreading the word of your favorite show. Andrew Lapachet, Lee Honish, bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. I am joined via satellite, the internet, and shortwave radio. Andrew Lapachet. How are you today, Andrew Lapachet?
Doing very good. How's it going, Lee?
You sound down, Andrew.
Why? No, no, sir.
How much coffee have you had?
I am on cup number 5, maybe.
Wow,
yeah,
I went not shot out of a cannon yet. So here's the format of the show. Andrew is a very passionate boxing fan and a very passionate writer and broadcaster. And my job is to basically crap all over it. I don't want to, I want a good fight. And the fights that I enjoyed over the last 2 days, I guarantee are not going to be the fights that you guys enjoyed. And I'll talk about why in just a moment. That's kind of the format of the show. So if you're just starting this for the first time because you saw your friend wearing the FNR Basic Bitch t-shirt and you went, oh, I'm going to go listen to the show thanks to my friend. And then you turn on this show and you're hearing this intro and you're saying, oh, I don't think this is for me. Hey, thanks. We appreciate it. Maybe you want to watch our videos. Go to Fight Net Radio, click on our Facebook or YouTube page, watch a video. Maybe it's funnier in video. Maybe. And if you give that a couple of minutes and you don't find it any good, then I don't know what to tell you. You don't have a sense of humor. I mean, or you don't like boxing or fighting or football or anything kick ass. See how I worked that in again, Andrew?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a drinking game. I feel like we need an ongoing Fight Net Radio game. Like, so let's say you're driving back from Vegas, Andrew, right? And I know this now, having driven back from Vegas at multiple hours. Apparently everybody just drives back fucking shit-faced from Vegas. So I'm going to give you a drinking game that you can play in the car on the way back from Vegas. Of course, I only want you to play it with, I can't do air quotes when there's no video of me, Andrew. Air quotes, coffee while you're driving. Did that make sense, Andrew? That's the high sign for take a shot of Fireball. Is Fight Net Radio actually telling you to drink Fireball while driving 3.5 hours from Las Vegas to LA? I would never say that out loud because that would create liability. I'm saying you should drink coffee. But Lee, it sounds like you're telling me to take tequila shots off of a naked woman in the back seat every time something happens on the show. Listen, I'm telling you that from a legal standpoint, we do not recommend that anybody ever drinks and drives. But I can tell you on a personal level, how do you get your car home from the bar if you don't drink and drive? Right? I mean, seriously, Andrew. I'm going to take the bus?
No, you usually have a friend drive you home that's not drinking.
How am I going to, like, dude, when I'm that shit-faced, how am I going to hit the buttons on my phone for, hold on, let me try my phone. I can't seem to make the Uber work. I think we're starting on a strong foot, Andrew. Part of the reason behind the show is both Andrew and I feel that we've created a relationship with you, the audience. And today, because we are so weak and you guys do like shows that are about 90 minutes long, and trust me, we don't have 90 minutes worth of stories. It's kind of a week Sunday. If you don't believe me, go listen to the last Wednesday show where we went for 2 hours, 15 minutes of what I deem probably one of the funniest shows we've ever done. Nice. Do you want to answer some questions?
What?
So the audience gets to know you, Andrew. Don't you know podcasts are about creating relationships?
Nope.
Okay, we'll skip the section and go right into boxing. I tried, everybody.
I fear you. Yeah. Sorry, I fear Lee's questions. You gotta get me on a better.
No. Look, when I first started this idea, I was gonna do gay partner questions because it was funnier to me, right? And then do it like a drinking game where you and I had to guess the answers, which would be hilarious. And by the way, the FNR regulars, as we speak, are slamming in the chat room right now going, we want to hear that. I'm sure you do. I came up with the idea and I think it's funny. We're not going to do any of that because Andrew poo-pooed it thinking that I'm going to submarine him at this moment, and I'm not. You want me to prove it to you? I just looked up conversation starter awkward questions. All right. These are the same ones that I do for interviews when I don't really give a shit about the fighter I'm interviewing. So, Andrew, what is the funniest name you have actually heard used in the real world?
Oh, man. I don't know.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Chadwick Boseman.
You didn't hear that.
Yeah, actually, I did when I went to go see Avengers Endgame 3 days ago. That's King T'Challa, bro. How does a black guy who is that cool have the whitest name ever? Does that even make sense to you? What sport would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to? Oh my God, you actually have to think about these?
It's going to either be boxing or hockey.
Oh my God, drunk fighters throwing blows? I like that.
Oh, yeah, it makes it a lot better. Yeah, then race comes in, they'll start doing race.
I like your hockey angle. I might vote for hockey. I'll tell you what I think would be great. Darts. I think drunk guys chucking.
Could you imagine Deontay Wilder being drunk as a skunk fighting Tyson Fury, and you say something like, Deontay, he's racist. Oh, he'd flip the fuck out. He would flip 400 years. Like, he'd scream till this day, run across the ring and try to kill Tyson Fury. It'd be awesome. No.
What movie would be greatly improved if it was made into a musical?
I'm
ready. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna like my answer. I Am Duran. I think the Roberto Duran story as a musical would be hilarious.
Very nice.
All right, this part's done. You're making this die on the vine, bro.
Yeah, you're making it die.
Go to fightnetradio.com. I tried, everyone. I think you want a better relationship with me and Andrew, and apparently, I guess not. So let's just get started. I'll clip that out. Go to fightnetradio.com. That's Andrew. My name's Lee. We'll just get right into the show, shall we? We've had 2 consecutive days of boxing and viewing pleasure. Actually, 3. I think there were fights on Thursday. So kudos to everybody who watched boxing on Thursday. I'm not covering it. Go find some nerdy podcast that's going to talk about it for an hour. I'm not. I actually got to pick the stories. I have been doing so for the last couple of weeks. Generally, I keep pulling the stories until Andrew gets tired of the stories that I'm pulling, and then he takes over and just sends me a laundry list of stories he wants to talk about. So that's kind of the format of how the show's written. So let's start right off with Friday night at the Fabulous Forum, owned by the Madison Square Garden Group now. No longer the home of the Lakers for all of you who live outside of Los Angeles. The Lakers play at Staples Center now. Are you excited that I should bring this up. Are you excited that the NBA season just started this weekend?
Yes. Warriors play this afternoon, actually.
Yeah, they do. I think.
Yeah,
it's
early
really
game.
hard based on the when the NBA season starts for me, right? I'm sure they got the result I haven't looked, so I don't know the result from the preseason from last week. But now that we're in the regular season and we're down to the final teams, they eliminate them.
The NBA's done robbing everyone. Is that what you're saying?
Dude, they allow 8 teams into the play. I don't even watch the first round of the playoffs. The only compelling thing that happened was your Golden State Warriors lost a game that they had a lead by 31 points in. That's the only compelling thing that's happened in the first round. And they still beat the shit out of the Clippers.
They lost, yeah, but then they lost game 5 too, didn't they? I believe they lose game 5.
It got 6. Scary. You went 6 with the Clippers, dude.
It got scary because let me tell you, real fast, because I'm not a diehard. I don't know everything, but I'll tell you, over watching the Warriors the last few months, it seems like what they're saying is true, Lee, and they don't really have that killer instinct anymore. Kind of, we've been there, done that attitude. We were hoping Cousins was going to change that, and he's injured now. You see, they thought he was going to be the drive. He was going to be the one that the Warriors would rally around and say, let's get him his ring. He's gone now. So the Warriors are out there with guys that have done this, 4 out of 5 years now, made this run.
They're going to win again, Andrew.
They're going to, we hope.
If they win again this year, I'm buying a Golden State Warriors knockoff China t-shirt to go along with my Lakers knockoff t-shirt that I got for LeBron.
It's a very important year for the Warriors moving into their new stadium next season. So they really got to win. This would be a huge bust if they didn't. And
they got out of Oracle finally?
Yeah, they're actually opening up next year. You never heard anything you never heard anything about the stadium because they're billionaires and they pay for anything that
there's your segue to talk about the Raiders.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, you never heard anything about the Warriors because they're billionaires, Lee.
That is a tremendous. Look, just get it over with, because like you literally nearly had an orgasm discussing how fucked the Raiders are at this moment. So go ahead.
Well, you're talking about the lien, right? They got a lawsuit right now.
You mean the pages of texts you sent me about the Raiders being in financial trouble?
Yeah, $278 million lien on the property right now. I guess the original bill, it's went up because the Raiders stadium is too small, Lee. They can't put all the steel on site, so they're now transporting the steel from another site, which brought in a lot of overrun costs that the Raiders don't have. And the steel company, they want their money. I believe it went from $93 million to $278 million. The Raiders are also in a little bit of a issue with the guys that were doing the exploding of the clay, getting the clay off of the property. I guess they had to bring in bigger machines, which costs more money. And Mark Davis having a little bit of a fit paying that price. So they said this is a bad one already. We're talking $100 and something million already on a lawsuit. This is an owner that can't take too many of these. And there's going to be another one coming down the line if they don't get a settlement with the company that was blowing up the land. So, and Lee, this happens in every project. Let's be clear about this. In LA, there was overrun cost. In Atlanta, there was overrun cost. Probably you look into the Golden State Warriors, there's going to be overrun costs. What was said by a lawyer, a lien lawyer, it takes billionaires to make these types of moves, and Mark Davis is not a billionaire.
There you go. And for those of you who wonder about me here in LA, well, the AFC West champions. Can I say that again, Andrew? Who's the AFC West champions? Who are the AFC West champions?
Oh, you mean the Chargers? You're talking about your Chargers? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who very nearly did the impossible and made it to the Super Bowl based on that team.
Let me tell you this.
And the NFC champions are from my home too, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah, you guys lost a lot of players though in that NFC West team. A lot of defensive guys left that team, so we'll see what happens this year. You still have the offense.
A bunch of kids, so who cares?
Yeah.
They were all old. Fuck them. They'll be back. They have the best coach in the NFL right now. They've got the guy who's playing the hot hand. So thank you for asking about my drafts.
Very happy with the signings of the Raiders. Look, people are giving the Raiders a lot of shit. Maybe even myself. You never know. You go back and listen to the audio. Even though I think I played the finance card a lot when I talked about the Raiders giving up Mack and Cooper. I told you guys they were broke a long time ago. You have to now look at those trades and think how much they have turned the Raiders organization around. Not only with one of the trades were we able to afford the best wide receiver in the league in Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers in the draft, where we had 3 number 1 draft picks. They said on paper the Raiders took the national champ, the best player that was on the field in the national championship game with Alabama and Clemson. And you got to remember, all these guys are turning pro. But multiple players on each team went pro, yet they said the best guy is now on the roster with the Raiders. The second pick on the first round, the Raiders took the best running back in college from Alabama. The third pick in the draft, this man was talked about a lot, the safety. I forget his name. Abraham, I believe his name was. Lee. When he was doing his 15-minute interviews, it was a story, and this is before the draft of the Oakland Raiders taking him. There was a story out that this kid learned every GM and coach's name and some of their playbook for the interviews. Very smart man, a guy they said would be a captain. The Raiders took him with the third pick in the first round. And then in the second round, the biggest pick I thought of them all, the Trayvon Mullen. That's Trayvon Mullen in the second round. 800 snaps in 3 years. He's a cornerback, Lee. 800 snaps and never given up a touchdown in his college career. These are players that can change this team that's going to take us to Vegas. You're awesome. If they don't get this draft right, it's going to damper Las Vegas. But on paper, I really, really like what Maylock and Gruden did here in the draft in the first 2 days.
A winter storm comes a raider. Is that what it is? You probably could do it from scratch, right?
No, in round 5, I don't know if you heard this. In round 5, when we took Hunter Renfro from Clemson, Bill Belichick threw his iPad at the wall.
Keep going, bro.
I'm into it.
Music makes me want to...
Clelin Ferrell from Clemson, pick number 1. Josh Jacobs, pick number 2 from Alabama. Jonathan Abraham, pick number 3 from Mississippi State. Pick number 1 of the second round, Trayvon Mullen. Yeah, these are all hitters. These are all hitters, Lee. Very excited about next year.
You good now?
All right. It's such a love-hate thing, right? You want them to fucking succeed.
Are you going to go this season or not?
No, probably not. I think I've
You're not even going to buy the tickets?
No. With another baby coming, in 7 weeks, sir? It was
buy a couple of Great America passes and take the kid to the park on Sundays.
We're actually doing the Vallejo because they have the zoo.
Right.
Yeah, because they have the zoo.
Right. Yeah. They have killer whales that they're torturing in Vallejo too? Or did they get rid of those?
I don't think so. I don't remember killer whales there. No, I don't think it's that big of one. I like the lions, the tigers. They have all that. I think they have penguins.
Penguins?
Yeah, that's kind of like, what are they doing here? Poor guys. No snow. No. It's not like your guys' zoo that has that indoor built one. Remember that, Lee?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They actually have penguins.
Yeah, we have killer whales we're torturing at SeaWorld.
Yeah, but at least your penguins were actually in 32-degree weather.
Nobody goes there anymore because they're afraid that like somebody from PETA is going to spray blood on them when they go into the park or something. I just love it. Every time I see, whales are not slaves. Okay, whatever, bro. They're here. You think they can handle themselves out in the wild? They're domestic animals now. Everybody calm down. And by the way, if you're a tree-hugging hippie who doesn't eat meat and you're listening to this show, what are you doing with your life? I mean, seriously, I digress. This is a show about fighting. I covered football and other kick-ass stuff. We're done. I tried the game. Andrew wasn't down with the game. We covered the Raiders because if I did that at the end, it would be much shorter. And I couldn't play the Raiders theme. I couldn't do any of the cool stuff I just did. So I wanted all that covered. It's all out of the way. We'll talk boxing now, I promise. Let's start right off with Friday night, Andrew. We'll start with my favorite fighter. I was actually going to make a boxing game to see how well we knew each other, Andrew. If I had asked you, so here would be the first question. Who is Andrew's favorite current fighter and what my answer would be and what your answer would be? I'm easy. Who would you say? Jesse Vargas? Would you say I'm a little obsessed with Jesse Vargas?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
A little. He is a modern day Sergio Mora, and I don't get the hype at all. And the dude is spending money that I'm not even sure he has. I'm completely fascinated with Jesse Vargas.
1.2 million he made Saturday night, Lee. 1.2
crazy to me.
The highest paid fighter on the card.
I'm fascinated with the Jesse Vargas thing.
I don't get it, Lee.
Who's he beaten? Who has he beaten?
And not only that, hey, listen, more power to him. Great that he makes that money. I'm not hating on the kid at all, but his social media feed usually isn't, viral. You don't see 20,000 hits on it when he drops something on his Facebook. You get what I'm saying? Like, where are they making the 1.2 million back? That's what I want to know. Even a guy like Broner, when we sit here and we clown Broner's a loser, Broner's this and that.
Broner's a bigger name than Jesse Vargas.
His views. Broner is one of the most viewed fighter for PBC. When you look at their records, they're the biggest fights they've put on television.
Because
Adrian Broner's name.
Broner get beat up by somebody.
It doesn't matter. That's where they're getting their kickback. You know what I'm saying? They're getting their money back. Where I don't know where Dazin thinks they're getting their money back and then some. At 1.2 million.
What did Jesse Vargas do to look? I'm not saying that Jesse Vargas is, but
well, do you have his record? What's Jesse? We got to look. He has some exciting fights. You got to give him that.
Oh, now you're gonna make me box wreck him, bro.
Oh yes, because he has some fights that were I'm gonna say
no, they weren't even exciting, bro. Okay, because this all started. My fascination started with Jesse Vargas for the Manny Pacquiao fight. Let's call it where I saw it. All right. So that's where his career really starts. Prior to Manny Pacquiao, nobody even knew this dude's name. Okay. Saddam Ali. Are you going to really call that? Or Timothy Bradley Jr., where he lost the unanimous decision? Like, he's a nobody.
Antonio DeMarco is an action fighter at that time. That's a decent fight. Timothy Bradley, Saddam Ali, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, come on, all three of those or four of those, Lee. Those are good fights. He lost
to Timothy Bradley.
Hey, listen, and I get it. The 1.2, I chuckled. Someone's getting over there.
So he fought Manny Pacquiao and lost remarkably bad, right? Like, he wasn't even at the fight.
Right.
Then he fights Aaron Herrera in Lancaster, bro. In Lancaster. His follow-up fight is in Lancaster. For those of you who don't understand how dramatic a location change from Las Vegas to Lancaster is, the equivalent for Andrew's world would be, okay, so you fought at Oracle Arena, and now you're fighting at the Stockton Civic Center. I mean, that's really the comparison, Andrew, to put it comparatively speaking. You fought in Las Vegas and went to... I don't even think that's fair, because Top Rank still holds fight in Stockton. I can't even begin to tell you how small a venue he moved to from Vegas to Lancaster is. The Pioneer Event Center, that's like fighting at an armory. You might as well have fought at the Airport Hilton, okay? That's the truth. And he did that on a Sunday PBC fight card, right? He gets a unanimous, boring decision. Then somehow he gets Adrian Broner, and that's a draw. He couldn't pull the trigger and make that happen. Then he fights Thomas Delorme and gets another draw. Yeah. Another draw.
Yeah.
Yes. What fighter in the history of boxing has pulled back-to-back draws? I am
look. Eddie Hearn might know something we don't. One of them is Terrence Crawford is desperate for opponents. Maybe he's going to try to sell him off to Top Rank for Terrence Crawford showdown. Look, they were talking about Cal Brook. Cal Brook and Jesse Vargas were supposed to fight. Seems like both of them are not, they're not on the same page anymore with that. Who's a bigger name? Is it Cal Brook or is it Jesse Vargas? They want the Cal Brook fight over in the UK. Crawford's done that before. Don't see that being an issue, but Crawford's saying no this time. So maybe that's why they overpaid him. They give him $1 million now. Maybe you get him for the same price or a little bit of a raise going in the Crawford fight, but then they would get a lot more selling that fight. Who knows, Lee? You're gonna just destroy him now. You're gonna go to his page.
All right, I'm gonna leave him alone.
Yeah, right? What about the fight? It was a good fight.
What would Jesse Vargas do? All right, so for those of you who don't know, that's kind of a running joke on our Facebook page. Go to fightnetradio.com. We do a thing called WWJVD. What would Jesse Vargas do? And apparently he is everywhere. He is the Where's Waldo of boxing. Like, he makes more rounds than Deontay Wilder could even conceive of. That's how far Jesse gets around. Like,
he does
completely fascinated with his life, right?
He does give a great interview, right? He's a commentator, so he knows how to work.
He's actually a really intelligent guy. He's actually a very nice guy. He's actually a very respectful guy. I'm just fascinated with his Sergio Mora dull-ass boxing skill that even Freddie Roach can't really fix. So before we discuss this fight, Andrew, WWJVD, I should buy that. I'll bet you it's available. www.jvd.com. I wonder if that's available. What would Jesse Vargas do prior, in your mind, to Humberto Soto? What did you think the fight was going to be before we discussed the fight?
Vargas would win.
Right. I personally thought it would be a 12-round snooze fest because Humberto Soto is, up to this point, like, he's a man possessed. Like, he knows any fight I lose, I'm quitting boxing, right? So he's fighting like somebody, like he owes money to the mob, right? That's what we saw in Mexico. He's like the classic underdog. He's just been fighting with this. My next fight, I lose it, I'm done, right? So I thought he'd go in and be a piece of iron in there. Well, I'd be wrong. Jesse Vargas defeated Humberto Soto by knockout at 148 of the 6th round. Vargas and Soto dished out heavy artillery, but it was the 29-year-old who gained the advantage when he dropped the 80-fight veteran for only the second time in his career with a right hand. That was the most shocking thing that happened on Friday night, Andrew, in my humble opinion. Jesse Vargas discovered knockout power against a guy who's never been, like, had that happen. I mean, statistically. I mean, 2 fights out of 80.
His right hand, if you go back on tape, his right hand is the reason why I thought he would have a success against Manny Pacquiao going into that fight. I kept saying, Manny's had a, hard time stopping right hands. Jesse's always had this right hand. I thought it was Morales who brought it out of him the best when Morales trained him. It showed up in this fight. So yeah, it was a good showing of power. Hey, Lee, you know what I thought? You know what I thought broke Soto before the right hand of the head was the body shots. Did you notice how many times Soto looked like he wanted to go down after his little pudgy old ass got hit to the body?
Yeah, I don't know what he made for that fight, but clearly he felt like it was his last fight. He fought like it was his last fight.
He made a few hundred, 200, 500,000, I believe, somewhere in that range. A decent payday for his age, what he looked like. And also, again, did he give them a return for that price? Hey, Lee, right now, on the high side, that fight almost costed them $2 million. Right? Right? Right?
I can't. There's something really wrong with... Like, I could see if Jesse Vargas is going to pay off and he's fighting Kell Brooks and this is a setup by Matchroom Boxing to get Kell Brooks and Jesse Vargas together, then I'll understand everything. And I'll call it right now, Kell Brooks will destroy him. Okay?
I'm going Vargas. I'm going with Vargas.
Daniel Roman wins a war over TJ Donahue to become the unified junior featherweight championship. It was a lopsided affair, Andrew.
I know,
in my humble
right?
opinion. The only
majority
thing
decision.
you and I watched, I thought the most interesting. Okay, so final scorecards were 113, which we'll get to in a minute. 116, 110, 116, 110. Right? It was a lopsided fight. Clearly, Roman was better than TJ Donahue by leaps and bounds, and I don't even think that's fair to say. But I kept joking with Andrew during this fight, going, there's going to be a draw. So when the 113 came back, I wasn't surprised by it at all. It's completely and utterly wrong. It was, in fact, such a crazy score that the announcers made mention of the 113. Daniel Roman now becomes the IBF junior featherweight champion in addition to his WBA title. It was, I don't know if I call it a fantastic fight. Sporting News is going a little far. I'd say it was a really good fight. But it's very, I agree with their assessment in this article from the Sporting News. It's hard to decipher how one judge could score a draw. I'll tell you how. It's Southern California judging. At the end of the day, Roman consistently attacked the body and changed the entire fight. Proved too much for Donaghy. Andrew, what did you think of Daniel Roman becoming a unified junior featherweight champion?
Good fight, just pressure. Takes a lot of shots. He kept coming though. The fight wasn't close. With 116, 110, 115, 113, all those were, seemed a lot what the fight really was. But yeah, I don't know, Lee. What else were you saying? They're 122 pounds, so he did good that night.
There you go.
Maybe he fights Estrada.
Which takes us to our main event of the evening. 12 rounds for arguably last year the greatest fight of last year, certainly fight of the year candidate. That's not what happened on Friday night. Sor Rungvisai took on Daniel Estrada.
Estrada? What the hell? Daniel Roman.
Daniel Roman and Juan Francisco Estrada. Sorry.
Yes.
I hate when that shit happens in my brain. Can't tell me a word and never mind, it's a mashup. You guys will understand someday if you ever do a podcast. Here's an idea for all of you who are typing. Fuck you. Go do your own podcast.
I always say that. Try to do some shit live for 2 hours and then send it to me.
Wait. Try to do some shit live for 2 hours, make it funny and not sound like everybody else. If Andrew and I did a show like I'm going to do it one Sunday. No, seriously, dude, this is going to happen. One day you and I are going to do a show like everybody else, and everybody can just suck it and see how bad the show is.
And I'm not as bad as you though. You can shock someone, right? Like you're like, what the fuck? What did you?
Yeah, I gotta do shit on the fly, dude.
And then I gotta keep thinking, although I'm thinking about what you just said.
Well, okay, so this came up in the chat room because I loved the last show we did on Wednesday, and I'll say this: if you want boxing news, go listen to the last episode. It was great. Bob was everybody was crazy in boxing on Wednesday, and so it was a great show. We're only as good as the news. But for me, I know what I can do. But if Andrew has the right amount of coffee in him, and I'm going to say this, and it's the thing I love about Andrew. It's the reason I still do the show. He's a legit fan who thinks he's helping the sport. Legit. Like he truly, fundamentally to his toe. I guarantee he has conversations with his wife about what he's going to push and how excited he is to do this stuff. I, on the other hand, am trying to figure out a way to just make Andrew laugh. That's literally either shock the shit out of him or make him laugh. That's all I'm doing over here.
Lee knows we have conversations where you go, I think we can reach him. No, we can't. We're not reaching anybody.
Not reaching anybody. I'm just telling you the truth of how the show works. That's a little pull behind the curtain. If you watch our text, by the way, for everybody wondering, when Andrew and I are texting and watching a fight together, it's the same kind of commentary. I'm doing the same kind of stuff. Like the stuff that I was most interested in is not usually the fight. I mean, I leave all that stuff.
Lee, can I ask you, where can me and you send a tape in to Dazin to maybe get a job?
Right?
What the fuck, bro?
Well, actually, I don't think that the Rungvisai Estrada was nearly as bad because that was Sergio Mora, right? And all the leftovers from ESPN who got fired when they moved to the app, right? So all those guys who got fired from ESPN moved over to the A team for DAZN. Then there's the B team, which I had never seen before, Andrew. Those are the guys who went to Lafayette, Louisiana for the Progress fight. And those dudes are like the misfit. Remember that cartoon as a kid, the Misfit Toys? Like the broken Jack in the Box and like all the weird stuff. The Indian dude who was doing a Mauro Ranallo impression talking out of the side of his mouth. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen. Like, I don't even know where you found him or who he's sleeping with or blowing to get that gig. And they had dead airspace. I've never seen that. They literally had dead airspace where they weren't talking at all. Like, what should we say? I don't know. What should we say? We're back to the fights now. Coming up, let's rewatch the clips from Progress's journey. And then they pulled clips for that Progress fight. Like the worst clips I've ever seen.
And Lee, you know why they did? You know what I thought? That's the only fight they're licensed to show that they would, right? Because all of Progress's other fights are probably with Top Rank on some other network.
No, they're on BT Sports and other things.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. The kid has 19 knockouts and 23 victories.
Right.
And
so we're going to show the ones that go the decision during the last Zoom fight that are like it's watching paint dry. The fights were so bad. It was
the same fight. It's different rounds. They showed like 3 rounds of the Flanagan
the
fight.
Journey that got us to this moment because we need to fill time because the last fight only went a few rounds.
Ooh, nonito.
All right, we'll get to it. All right, let's talk about Sor Rungvisai versus Juan Francisco Estrada. Sounds like a pro wrestling manager. Hello, I am Juan Francisco Estrada, and here is my masked wrestler. First things first, it was totally different than the original fight. I agree with their assessment. Came to us from the forum. It was literally a lopsided affair. Literally a lopsided affair. Estrada from the opening bell. I'm not even reading their stuff. I'm just showing you photos. I'm telling you from the opening bell, this was a totally different fight. Estrada came out. He was the more aggressor. He changed the complexion and the tone of the fight and dominated Sor v. Rungvisai. The part that I hated the most about the fight is now listening to these tool bags from DAZN who were fired from ESPN. I'll say it again. They were fired from ESPN and hired by DAZN. Debate with Sergio Mora. Ugh, leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know how Sergio Mora has a job. And don't tell me, oh, he's the middleweight champion of the world. Bro, we've already talked about it on this show. If I won the lottery last night, which I don't know yet,
no one went to interview. Where did they do their interviews at?
Oh, bro, it was the whole thing was okay. Sorry, I digress. Let me take a deep breath. Juan Francisco Estrada came out with a different game plan. He attacked from the opening bell. He did not stop for 12 straight rounds. Rungvisai looked lost. In the final rounds, he finally switched to a southpaw stance, which he probably should have done. There was a whole thing over the last 2 days, right, about southpaw and traditional stances that was happening. And Rungvisai was also involved in that this isn't working shit. Ultimately, the final scorecards came back 116, 112, 115, 113, 115, 113. And by the way, those are very helpful scorecards. I am telling you, I could make an argument that Estrada won 12 straight. As do I believe Andrew, since we watched the fight together. Estrada is your new champion. And thanks to DAZN hammering it for literally the entire time of the fight. Well, Estrada now has to be considered one of the pound-for-pound best because he's the guy who beat the guy. We're going to do the top 10 today, and I'm going to give you my feelings on the whole Rungvisai thing. I think it was flawed from the beginning because Chocolito was a shit guy that got on the list somehow magically to begin with. I don't know how he got on the list. I don't know what.
He beats Estrada, though, Lee. He beats Estrada in 2012. So Chocolito, Estrada looks like a different fighter today. But Chocolito is still, he was somebody because he fought both men last night or
whatever.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, basically, I was disappointed with the fight. I think there was maybe one interesting round. What was it, round 10 or 11? That was somewhat interesting. Like that's when Rungvisai decided, oh, I got to go in there and do something, right? But his corner was basically not doing shit. They're not telling him he's behind on the fight. They looked lost in space. The fighter was not into it. They kept having a debate on the announce team about Sor's weight or weight issues with the fight. There was a debate about his age. Andrew and I talked about that before the show about guys being too old, whatever. Ultimately, here's the thing. Estrada won decisively. If this goes to a third fight, I'm telling you right now, Estrada wins the third fight. It's not even a debate. Like, I don't even think the fight should happen. It's not even a debate. It's Estrada has, I guess, arrived and reached his full potential. Andrew, take me through it.
He's 29 years old, so you are probably right on he's peaking right now. You know, what's his name? Sergio Mora kept talking about he was boxing, he wasn't fighting like a Mexican style, which I think is so overrated nowadays. To me, he reminded me of Ricardo Lopez. He reminded me of Juan Manuel Marquez, and Eric Morales, Oscar De La Hoya. We've seen many boxers. Even Barrera switched his style up midway through his career, became more of a boxer. They've changed. It's not all about being Julio Cesar Chavez anymore and just coming, even though Chavez way underrated on his defense. But come on, we all know Chavez is all about left hooks, coming face first and throwing 1,000 punches. He looked excellent. He looked excellent from the very first round. He was on his toes. Look, they were talking about a knee injury. There was no knee injury in this one. All of a sudden, he's on his toes in the very first round. The body shots. You know, if I was Rungensai, I would start a rumor, have your team come out and put out there that he injured a rib early in that fight, and get a third fight, get another paycheck. You know, me and Lee talked about the payout for Rungensai. He made $500,000 on this night. Now, Lee, I don't know what that is in Thailand, but he's probably a millionaire today. And I don't know how much fire he still has. We're talking about a fighter who's in his mid-30s, and his last 4 fights, he's made decent money. He's got 2 with Roman Chocolito, then now this is a second with Estrada. So these are all decent paydays for him. Don't know if there's fire there, but there is an opportunity for a third fight because the body shots were real. You seen him hurt. Like the shoulders were, his elbow was always down after those shots. So, yeah,
by the way,
pound for
the
pound.
clips from the first fight, for anybody wondering, this is the video that they played before the fight. This is the fight we thought we were going to get.
I thought it was bull how Brian Kenny said he didn't know if Estrada should be pound for pound. Now, of course he should. When you beat a pound for pound fighter convincingly the way that Estrada did last night or 2 nights ago, was it Friday night, right? Yeah, you are pound for pound. I don't know where he goes, but he probably goes in the same spot that Rungensai was holding. Excellent fight. Where he goes from here, real fast, I think you got to go after the names maybe of the Donnie Netes from the Philippines, and then there's the kid that me and you seen, the Jocelyn. How do you say his name? We went to Fresno to go see him.
Yeah.
Jerwin Acajas, another Filipino fighter. You know, there's fights out there for him. He also could do the rematch, Lee. A rematch with Roman Gonzalez. Roman Gonzalez has 1 victory since losing to Rungensai. So maybe if they could get Roman another, because honestly, the rematch with Estrada is a retirement check, correct? This in no way do they think Roman's going to win the fight, but you do it so then you can say Estrada has beaten every man that he's lost to or something like that, right? Every remember they did it with Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis had 2 defeats. But because he rematched the guys and beat them, then they started giving him the title. He has beaten every man he has ever faced. What the fuck? No, yeah, he's got 2 losses. But the loophole. So if I was them, I would try to even get a Roman Gonzalez maybe back into the ring, just so Estrada's had 2 hard fights with pound for pound contender. Give him an easier fight with the ex-world champion Roman Gonzalez.
There you go. That covers Friday night. We're on a roll. It's almost like a boxing show again. We don't need that. I dropped it. That was the Robert Easter card. I had it. And I turned it off, Andrew. I turned it off.
I hope you did. I hope everyone was watching did. What a boring fight, Lee. Absolute garbage what they put on last night. Lee, it's almost like Al Heyman's throwing out these draws nowadays because he's trying to keep these belts, right?
Well, I think the most interesting part of the whole evening when I went back and watched all the tape was Ajabugu, which sounds like a cool
hitting
villain.
the guy on the ground.
No. In the first fight, Ajaba, first fight.
Yes.
The guy who would make a cool villain in the next Black Panther movie.
Ah, very nice. Giving him an avenue. That's more money. More money.
And he got a 2-round knockout, and they're building him up. I thought it was fair Showtime to say he was a year away, but they'll probably,
He should have been disqualified. I'm telling you, bro. The guy, when he drops him, when he drops him the first time, he hits him while the guy's down, and the ref goes from counting. Then he's like, whoa, okay, 5-minute break. Oh yeah, they don't disqualify him though. Hey, if that was Don King, when they said the ref was in his pocket this morning, come on now, how times have changed, huh?
Yes. Then there was a fight in the middle that was a lopsided.
If that was Saul Alvarez, would they be asking for the referee's card today and De La Hoya's? Come on now, we watched this guy hit somebody on the ground. The ref gives him a break. Lee, it's like a hook. The guy's on his knee, takes a hook right to the side of the head. That should have been a DQ.
Which they had a second fight that I fast forwarded through on the Showtime card because it was lopsided from the get-go. I don't even know who fought in it.
Hey, Lee, you want me to tell you how fucking sometimes this boxing world, how sideways they can be on fighters, how much haters they can be? Adeline Bird was still being trolled this weekend because she was a possibility as being a judge for the Canelo Jacobs fight. Yet, do we even know the name that gave Deontay Wilder a victory versus Tyson Fury without the fucking knockdown in the 12th round? Do we even know his name?
The coffee's kicking in on Andrew. You guys can tell. I can tell. There was a second fight on the triple header on Showtime, and I can't tell you a damn thing about it because I didn't care. It was a lopsided affair between two fighters. There you go.
Easter and
which takes us to our before Easter and Bartholomew, there was another fight, Andrew. You clearly didn't go back and watch it.
I didn't watch that one. No, I was watching the dad. Yeah, you're right.
Which takes us to the main event of the evening. Robert Easter Jr. takes on Bartholomew. The only highlight before we discuss this fight, by the way, it ended in a draw. There's no need to have any kind of discussion other than really what transpired during this fight. They averaged 11 impact shots per round. I think that says it all. They only hit each other on average 11 times over 12 rounds. Hold on, let me get my calculator out from Steven Espinosa. 11 punches landed for both fighters per round times 12. Both fighters still made $24 million, Andrew. And by the way, if you're playing the drinking game, drink. This was literally the dullest fight in the history of boxing. I don't actually know what to say. There's the highlights from the Ajabugu.
Yeah, please show him go down. Watch. He goes down. Bing.
He didn't get it. It didn't connect, bro.
Yeah, it did. That wasn't that bad, though. It wasn't as bad as it looked last night.
There's the finish
fight. Are you playing in slow motion?
No, that's them. These are Showtime's highlights.
Fuck that.
No,
fight
not bad. That's not actually where the fight stopped and finished. It finished.
Of course it's not.
He complains. Shut up. Then he got beat up in the corner by Ajabugu, the next villain in the Black Panther movie. Doesn't he look like the next villain in the Black Panther movie?
Yeah, no, that's a good call. Make money.
Okay, and that's the fight. We've seen enough, bro. You got your ass beat up. What do you mean? You're getting paid. That's what he's saying. You still got paid. Oh, Victor Postal. Yeah, unanimous.
Oh, no, I fucking hate. Yeah, I didn't watch this shit.
Against Anthony Mundine. Or is that right? No. Mumine. I don't even know who it was that he beat up.
He didn't even look like,
10 rounds of this. This is a good highlight. This is what I saw for 10 rounds.
Falling all over
and
the
Freddie
ring.
Roach barely coaching in the corner.
Look at, he's all clapping for him. Oh, he's
Right.
very good, very good.
And then in your main event of the evening, guys missing a lot.
Lee,
there's one.
I've never seen a fight that they
Miss.
showed more missed blows
Miss.
in the highlights than these two.
Miss.
Miss.
Oh, we got that one. There's the one
he
punch.
got him.
Miss. Wait. Why are you high-fiving each other? Bro, we didn't even break a sweat. We got paid.
Exactly. Not even the Nick.
Even Espinosa told me.
And then they go, do you want a rematch? Of course I do. No, I don't want to see a rematch. Hey, I love Jim Gray, though. Jim Gray, he was doing it all with face expressions like, I get paid for this nowadays.
It's embarrassing. This fight was embarrassing. Like, by the way, the reason I'm playing this on a loop repeatedly, because this is the fight. Andrew and I watched this for 12 rounds.
Lee, can we be honest though? Showtime isn't embarrassing nowadays. You guys got to. This is a company not too long ago that had Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, some of the biggest names, Deontay Wilder, some of the biggest names were fighting on here. This year, they've taken a nosedive right into the bottom of the pit in boxing.
Who sold this as a good fight?
It's two guys that have been recycled. These guys have been recycled in the PBC show, because this is what the PBC is. It's a show. I told Lee after the fight, and I promise you guys, I'm not watching the rematch. So if you want anyone to cover Bartholomew Easter, don't come to Fight Net Radio the day after that fight takes place, the rematch. I won't be watching. There's no point. Those fighters are the B-side of everything that's happening around them. Sorry, no future. Both halves defeats. There's nothing there, and I'm tired of the PBC shows. A draw. See, I wish someone would just go back and show how many draws are we getting from this company nowadays. It really seems like someone's trying to hold on to his titles.
Let's move now over to the DAZN show, which is where I came in with my pizza. Andrew is keeping me updated on the whole thing. I walked in on round 3 forward. Nonito Donaire shocks the world. I don't know how else to say it, because based on the play-by-play Andrew was giving me going into this, it was Stephen Young who took on 3 days' notice Nonito Donaire in his semifinal match. The first 3 rounds, according to Andrew, before I turned on the TV, it was pretty much dull and not worth fighting. And then I sat down, and the next 3 rounds were dull until literally round number 6, when out of nowhere, and if you blink, you miss the punch because they had such a piss poor camera angle. They were shooting from behind the shot. All you saw was his back and a dude falling down. So they had to spin through the tape to find all the knockout angles.
You're absolutely right. I was disappointed with the angles of DAZN last night. Yeah. Producer, they didn't work on that.
Those long of arms
Here it comes.
biceps to be able to evade.
Right, that's the angle. Watch how shitty this angle is again.
I know.
That's the angle we had. Terrible camera angle. Who is not shooting from the side at that moment? Like, why would you even shoot from this angle?
That's the producer who's in the back calling the shots, man. He's got multiple TVs that have angles from everywhere. He's supposed to pick the best ones. He blew it on that one.
You're shooting from this corner.
Definitely not getting the call for Joshua Wilder if it ever happens, right?
Terrible. And it literally took them a good 5 minutes to rewind all the tape and find the knockout angles. So you got a guy in this far corner who's got a better shot of the punch coming in. On the other side, all you have to do is be camera. He's coming in. Like right here. Switch camera side. Switch camera angles. You can't see shit from here. They're already in your corner. There's nothing better than that uptight shot in that far corner over there, Andrew. They're right there. That punch from that angle, and I've seen it, is phenomenal. Terrible production, and just shitty as all get out. Even putting this up on their Twitter feed because it's the worst angle is stupid by DAZN. And he knocked him out. Boy, did he knock him out, Andrew. This dude was knocked out.
No, Nonito has that left hook that if you were ever building the complete fighter, it's his left hook you want. I swear to God, I think it's better than Mike Tyson's.
Okay,
I really
so we
do.
had this debate last night. We might as well carry it over to stretch a little bit of show here. Best punching power in the lightweight division, right? You can't call it Mike Tyson because he was a heavyweight and he should have had it. But in the lighter weight division,
no. When I talk about that punch, I'm talking the pound for pound, the technique, the power, the leverage, the one punch, you're out. All right, Nonito Donaire, at least 3 times in his career, he has made you go, oh shit, we need a doctor. Is there an ambulance around? This dude's asleep. This dude's out with his eyes open. His body is in total auto mode. Like, just breathe, you'll be okay. He's done that at least 3 times. No, the greatest single left hook I think boxing has ever seen goes to that man right there, Nonito Donaire. It's a thing of beauty. It's an absolute thing of beauty. Now, is he the greatest? No. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes. Is he top 50, 100? Possibly. But that punch, put that number 1. Go ahead, Lee.
Which takes us to our main event of the evening. Some dude.
That's all you got for him. That's all. Here, people, listen. Let me tell you something.
He's 36 and he fought a dude on 3 days' notice. This isn't the actual guy he was supposed to fight. If he had fought the actual dude he was supposed to fight, it wouldn't have been this result, Andrew. He got a walkthrough. The only thing interesting is that he might be fighting Inoue in the final.
Inoue
versus Donaire is a really interesting fight.
Yes, I do agree. I think Luis Nery is an interesting fight. Tate is an interesting fight. Like, Nonito Donaire at 36 years old, he brought his career back last night.
Yeah, but seriously, he's still in the world. Wait, Andrew, he's still in the World Boxing Super Series, right?
Of course,
so his next fight is the winner of the Inoue fight, and I'll help you guys out because Inoue's defeated and a pound-for-pound ranked fighter. Inoue's going to win his fight. Okay, that's not a question.
Okay,
in my mind.
He only has 17 fights, so just calm down about how much you're gonna pump this guy up right now.
I am gonna pump him up. I'm all about the Inoue.
I know you are. I know. What do they call? They call him like Godzilla or something over there. I know about it. He's a monster. I know, and he has highlights too. But he's going up against a guy that has probably the greatest left hook of all time. He only has 17 fights. You better be ready. You better know when it comes, because when it comes, it's so pretty. It's a home run swing. It's like Ken Griffey's home run swing. One of the most beautifulest things you could ever see was Griffey sending a ball out the park. Nonito Donaire's knockouts, they're that pretty.
And in our main event of the evening, the guy who was going to draw everybody over to Louisiana to see this fight, Regis Progress, nickname Electric Boogaloo. I know it's not. It's a joke.
Awesome.
That's the point of the show.
Look at his kid. His kid is awesome.
Jugaru. What did they call him? Jugaru? Googaboo? Whatever his nickname was.
It should be Electric Boogaloo.
I'm just going to call him Electric Boogaloo from now on, which, by the way, great 80s reference. Regis Progress, and the reason we're fighting in New Orleans, Louisiana, was because of Regis Progress, and they thought that he would be a draw to fill up this little tiny theater that they held the fight in. I would highly recommend for all of you to go back and look at the tape and see that when we got to the main event of the evening, he was fighting in front of 20 people, which is the most unbelievable thing that I've ever seen. There's nobody in the building, and they actually pulled back so they could show off this slick lighting campaign that they had to even show you how few people they had in the building. I don't know who positioned the cameras. I don't know what they were thinking. There were more people on the left and right side of the ring for sure, but the camera direct angle on the other side is showing an empty arena, which is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Lee, I'm gonna show what you were just talking about earlier about. I think DAZN, this can get to DAZN CEOs, our show. So I'm gonna help them out right now. Someone's gonna tweet them this.
Okay.
The only thing they got right yesterday was the lighting. Am I correct?
Yeah, I dug the lighting.
They have one of the best entrances for a fight. I haven't got over the light show yet.
Gentlemen, enter the ring of combat.
Yeah.
And the lights all shift, and they started playing the really dramatic Avengers music, and they marched to the ring, and Progress is in his, I don't know what mask that is. Like, I don't know what the elf with the beard mask and the orange hair. It's like a cross between an elf, a wolf man, and I don't know.
It's doing him right now.
Right?
He's 24-0-20. He's doing okay right now. You wear that shit up. I know it shits all over Danny's. I know it's better than Danny's little girly mask he brings in. His little China doll.
No doubt. Look, the entrance was cool. He's sporting NOLA gear. He's the draw, everybody. I feel like Mauro Ranallo. He's the reason we're all here. That's why the place was empty.
Let me tell you something, you guys. The Howard Cosell, fake ass Howard Cosell, he needs to go. They could drop that. They could drop the act.
What are you talking about?
Drop the act. Start, the other guy, Kendall, whatever. I was like, is it Kendall Holt? Who is he?
I don't know who these guys were, dude.
They didn't even show them. Dazzin did not cut to the commentators one time. They didn't put their names up. It was like, really, really frustrating. The arena being empty. We get it. You guys are a streaming app that you're making $20 a month or $99 a year. So they make a lot of money right now. I get it. You're not really worried about attendance, but sometimes people will not watch what doesn't look hot. And if you want Progress to be the future of Dazzin, to be one of your headliners, you got to do a better job of getting people in the seat. And Lee told you guys last week that who was it, Lee, on Friday night that was putting those tickets on sale for free? Basically, all you do is
Gold Star. Yeah, free tickets.
For what? For Top Rank? Was that
Sor Rung Visai? Yeah, and they filled it up. They filled it up, and that thing looked awesome. You heard people cheering. Estrada made fans. Don't you guys get it? Like, the people that went there to see Estrada, he put on a hell of a performance for them. Guess who they're paying to see next time? Right. Estrada gets a sellout at the Forum. He got the LA fans.
I mean, come on.
Jesse Vargas has got a fan base now, thanks to free tickets.
This is what I mean by exactly. Even Vargas got his knockout on a fight that people went there for free.
Nobody
they might
will
pay
Victor Postal, but
no, sir. But Prograis in his hometown, they need to do a better job. Dazzin needs to do better. I text this,
and for those of you who
have to Lee. Remember, I said their American side needs help. I don't know who they need to talk to, but they need to start bringing in some American promoters that can get them better competition on their cards, get their tickets sold, and if not sold, find a way to get a butt in a seat and just do it over. And then I think vamping of the whole fucking commentary. Dead serious.
Here's a very key point to all of this, right? This is part of the World Boxing Super Series. For those of you who don't know, Progress won in the 6th round after literally he just threw monster bombs until he won. He dominated the fight. It was completely lopsided.
Come on,
Relic actually got a little bit of life in him, but the reality is his corner stopped the fucking fight in round 6 because he was getting his ass kicked.
Hey, Lee, did he look cool,
at
though?
This tweet, Andrew. Look closely at this tweet. 22 people are talking about it. Only 60 likes for Progress.
I know.
And this is the semi-final fight for the World Boxing Super Series. All it did was make everything go backwards.
Richard Schaefer, you think, would know how to put on a better fight than what he did. And, actually, does this even fall on Dazzin's lap? This could be a Schaefer issue.
Dude.
The World Boxing Series might need to look at, is Richard Schaefer actually the American face that's going to drive your company? Because right now he's failing for this thing miserably. Lee,
here's what I don't understand, Andrew. For a streaming company like DAZN, understanding that they're a streaming online company with an app, right? You should be worried when there's only 137 people and 255 actually interested in watching a clip of one of your knockouts from one of your fight cards on Saturday night. I'd be terrified if I were DAZN execs, right? That's an international fighter. At the very least, it should have gotten more traction than that. And then you go to Progress, who couldn't sell a seat. Somebody sold this to be in NOLA and to make this a fight in that place and then show it the way they did. And you got 28 people talking about the fight and 78 likes on 2 different tweets from the World Super Series, right? Nobody's into this. That's reality. This doesn't even have international appeal. These are Twitter results.
Well, he will when he will on the main event. Both of the guys are from the UK, I believe. In the other fight, Taylor and he's fighting a Russian, or he might be fighting a Russian. So Prograis will be known after this. Lee, were you impressed by the young man yesterday?
Yeah, I was. And I'll tell you why. It's because we watched Showtime right after. This is the guy who beat up Barthélemy, right?
Okay, I'm gonna give you something, Lee. I'm gonna give you something here. We've been talking about it for a few weeks, and I want you to see how this is playing out in front of you.
Okay.
Terrence Crawford's undefeated, right?
Yep.
He's a pound for pound number 1, number 2, number 3, wherever you guys have him. He's pound for pound top 3. Okay, he's at 147, could go to 140, doesn't really matter. He goes wherever. You've got Prograis. He's in this World Boxing Series, but he's undefeated. He's the favorite right now to win it. He's number 1 in the division.
Right.
Then you got Jose Ramirez, who's the WBC champ of the division, who's undefeated, right? All these guys, 3 of these guys fight under Top Rank. And then you bring in the man right under them at 135, Vasily Lomachenko. And you're going to start to see how the Top Rank is starting to get their own little tournament that could take place here for the pound for pound ranking. Obviously, Crawford, Lomachenko would be the favorites to win this tournament, but there's something happening here. Terrence Crawford will have options if the welterweights aren't the answer anymore. If he just can't get the fights that he's looking for, Danny Garcia is turning down $6 million paydays because he just doesn't want to face the guy. You know, Manny Pacquiao's running to Thurman. He never wanted Crawford. Spence, you're on the wrong side of the street, guy. Which all of you guys are on the B side. Know that. Don't you see the names that I'm announcing right now? Ramirez, Prograis, Lomachenko's been the guy. Crawford, this is the future. The PBC is playing a lot with the guys that were made in the last generation. Spence's name being connectedly. Spence is a prospect. Not really anymore. I don't care that he's not unified or he doesn't have a lot of belts. We've known about Spence for years now. Am I lying, Lee?
Nope.
Have we not known about the Charlo brothers for years now? Have we not known about Hurd? These guys are all living off of the fucking Floyd Mayweather era. The new era's coming. There's new fighters going to take over. I think Top Rank ESPN, they're going to have one hell of a tournament coming here. They're going to have something coming here in the near future.
I think in the super lightweight division, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you look what's out there and you can dominate the division, I just don't know if these are money fights.
And Lee, it doesn't have to be any division. They're going to title this the pound for pound king. It doesn't matter that Canelo's there and that who else do they have? They could be number 1. Maybe one of the heavyweights get there if they ever do figure the heavyweight division out. But Lomachenko versus Crawford, dream match with the warm-up fight of maybe Ramirez and Prograis getting one of them and them meeting at a catch weight. The title of that tournament is pound for pound, and it works. It sells. It's a fight that maybe Crawford and Lomachenko both need because we see Mikey Garcia and Eroy Spence are going to hide behind fucking Al Heyman until they have no more money to make.
$24 million, Andrew. Get it right. They're not hiding.
Oh, did you? Hey, Lee, did we not help? Here's a segue. Did we not help Mr. Luis Ortiz by explaining to him how he was getting wrong? Did you see, Lee? You know what, you guys? Wait a minute.
We're not segueing quite yet, but yes.
Wait a minute, because I'm going to tell you, Lee, I got to give you credit, bro. I did not think Luis Ortiz did not know about that deal. I'm dead serious. When you were saying that last week, I think Luis Ortiz is mad right now. I was like, why are you? I didn't, in my head, I'm like, why are you saying that? Of course he knows there's a $5 million deal on the table. Now there's a report saying he didn't.
That would be
correct. Oh my God. Hey, is he not Don King? Is Al Heyman not Don? He's not even telling this guy there's a $5 million fucking dollar offer on the table.
No, there is not. Why is this doing that? I hate it when there's auto anything.
So hats off to you, bro. I don't know where you get these feelings from, but what a hell of a call. I never would have thought that. And that just plays into how much is Al Heyman really controlling these men?
Well,
You're not even telling them.
Let's take a segue right there, Andrew. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In boxing news, there are only a few stories. Anthony Joshua versus Luis Ortiz back on. This is about 6 hours ago on Sunday, coming to us from the express.co.uk section. Eddie Hearn has dropped a tease that Anthony Joshua will fight Luis Ortiz, but not on June 1st. The Brit is on the hunt for a replacement to take on in New York in less than 5 weeks' time. Joshua has been set to trade blows with Jarrell Miller, but Big Baby failed not one, not two, but 3 drug tests, 2 of which you've never heard of, that were explained in detail on the show. One of the most high-profile names was in for Miller is Luis Ortiz, whose team has caused confusion with the public comment about that bout. The Cuban heavyweight manager Jay Jimenez claimed that Joshua's promoter, Hearn, had only put out a lowball offer on the table. But Ortiz's trainer, Herman Casido, insists there has been a mix-up and that King Kong would be willing to put pen to paper to take on Joshua. That's what I figured too. Hearn has claimed that he offered in excess of $5 million for Ortiz to step in and replace Miller, with Jimenez recently admitting that it was not offers from Joshua's team that were lowball, but rather promoters of Ortiz that were pulling for more money. Do you want me to translate this section, Andrew, or does that make sense?
Yeah, and actually, Lee,
Burns claims that he offered $5 million for Ortiz to step aside and replace Miller, right? With Jimenez recently admitting that it was not offers from Joshua's team that were low, but rather the promoters for Ortiz. Who are the promoters for Ortiz, Andrew?
You got to think the man,
Al
the
Heyman,
whisperer,
PBC,
the whisperer,
Leonard Ellerby, right?
Yes, these are the most powerful men in boxing. Everyone says, correct? So there's
they
no
were
way.
Pulling for more money. By the way, $5 million, as we've stated on the show, would be the highest purse Ortiz has ever fought for. Period.
Lee, he fought for $500,000 against Deontay Wilder last year.
Right.
$500K. These men offered him $5 million, and they fucking did a threw an offer back, counter offered. Are you serious? What? Eddie Hearn, Christ and I, fuck you guys, hung up. Bing.
There you go.
Hey, Lee.
Yo.
I hope they get this fight. Look, they're saying the Ruiz kid is getting it. I don't know. Do you have that one on there already? Did I already blow that? The Ruiz. They're saying Ruiz and Joshua.
Yeah, they're talking about Ruiz. I don't have we talked about it on Wednesday that he's the possibility fight, but it hasn't been. There's nothing final. There's literally nothing final.
And then did you hear the news that Miller might not face a suspension in New York because he was not licensed at the time of the drug test? Loophole, but Miller might get away with 3 dirty tests in New York.
Terrible.
Yeah. No. Okay. That was the update.
Everybody is currently okay. So this will tell you how up in the air the Joshua thing is, and I'll pull this down for everybody to look at. This is just the latest updated news. Joe Joyce, Luis Ortiz. I don't even see Ruiz in all this. But if you look at how all over here's Ruiz. There's still talk about Ortiz. I don't think Ortiz can get ready in time. I mean, Andrew Ruiz seems to be the front runner, but the fact they're all still talking about a million things. Rafael is saying it's probably going to be Andy Ruiz, right? Neil Doran is on the Luis Ortiz screw up. I mean, I'm just telling you how it is. The fact that I've seen now Joe Joyce's name thrown into the mix. How crazy is that name? That's a name you and I did not even bring up.
Yeah, no, I don't see it being that guy at all.
And here's your Jarrell Miller will avoid ban for failed drug test. We'll cover it on Wednesday's show when we get ready for Canelo, but
that's insane.
I want to wait till that one fleshes out a little bit more. That almost is too unbelievable. But if you look at, I'm showing you guys right now, this is all news within the last 48 hours. He hasn't picked a fighter.
And there's another one. Deontay Wilder's next 2 fights, they're saying, will be Luis Ortiz and Adam Kawanaki.
Yeah, but you're going to have to offer him at least $5 million for him to take that fight. You're going to.
Ooh, hey, he knows now, huh? He said 5 is greater than 500.
Yeah, the calculator failed.
They fucking failed that time. Shit, who told them? Damn it.
There you go. That's your update on the heavyweight division.
Poor Ortiz. We gave him
Let us
shit
do
last week.
a quick commercial segue. Go to fightnetradio.com, click on our Facebook page, and follow us. Get up-to-the-date news in real time. Andrew and I both post stories that we're into during the week. That's where we also post videos and clips that we think are important from this show or whatever. That way you don't have to watch the whole show on video. You should, but if you just, I clip them out and I put the best stuff up. Also, on our Facebook page, we'll start right there, shall we? Let's start right there. This is a huge commercial break right here. If you go to our Fight Net Radio page, if you click on our events, it is posted, it's official, even though my executive council team here at home is saying repeatedly, I don't think you told me about Las Vegas. You can understand that one, right? The executive council. The executive council said, and I quote, I don't think you told me about Vegas. So we have a Box Fan Expo coming up with what we call the Fight Net Radio Meet and Drink. And that will be on May 4th. I will be on site, theoretically, unless there's a change. And you'll find out on Friday whether or not there's a change. Barring a cutoff from the thing I enjoy the most in life, which is, I'm going to say it, Andrew, vagina. It's kind of my favorite thing. Yeah, right? There aren't even kids involved if you don't say that you're into vagina. Whatever. I digress. So this is out there. It's on our page. Click on the event info. You can actually find all the info to go to the Box Fan Expo. It's boxfanexpo.com. Get your tickets. I think they're $30. We've talked about it repeatedly on this show. It's an opportunity to go talk to Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas. I can guarantee they will be there. Probably even Danny Garcia. I like the event. I'll be there. I will bring my credit card and I will buy you drinks. Hopefully they have alcohol this year instead of just coffee. By the way, boxing fans are ugly. By the way, what they're showing and how boxing fans look, yeah, that's what they look like. They're ugly. And
well,
by the way,
that's what people looking to meet. You ever been to a fight? Nah, totally different. It's the one thing about Vegas.
Oh no, the people going to the Canelo fight are not the people at the Box Fan Expo, dude.
Yeah.
That's just reality.
look at me.
Look, this says it all. Look at that photo. I'm gonna say it again. Let me blow that sucker up.
That's
That's
like
what the Box Fan Expo looks like. Yeah. Get the kids, strap them in.
Yep.
There you go. That's the Box Fan Expo.
That dad has dreams of those kids being fighters. You
and
know
by
that,
the way,
right?
I'm not shitting on this because if you watch Will in his video, he's literally holding up his son and doing interviews the same way. So this is very funny. That's so
This is another level boxing fan that goes to these things.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Lots of stars on hand, lots of autographs, a lot of meet and greets. I'll be there. I've never been asked to sign an autograph. I have run into Fight Net Radio fans. I have bought drinks. Nobody ever wants a picture with me. Nobody ever wants my autograph. I'm going to try to break the streak by saying it up front, and maybe something will change this year. All anybody ever wants to do is go, oh, Andrew's cool. Can I have a drink? All right, close enough. That's usually how it goes. I've never told Andrew my experiences when meeting with the fans at this or any of the fights we go to. Generally, it's like, yeah, Andrew's cool. What about the drink?
You like playing the line. Did they ever tell you that?
No.
I don't
I've
know
never
to shake
heard
your
that one.
hand or.
No. No.
Yeah.
Nobody makes eye contact with me. It's like a weird, awkward sexual experience with a hooker. I mean, it really is like, okay, how do I get, like they're looking at the floor like, no, I don't really want to talk to you. Can I get a drink?
For me, it always seems like people want to say you make them laugh, but they don't know if they should. Like, he's just Lee. He's just Lee. Like, yeah, I know.
The other guys that are there that are from other media sources don't make eye contact with me because I've literally spent the better part of the year shitting on all of them. And remarkably, I'll say this every time, the boxing show that I shit on the most, which is really a backhanded way of promoting their show. And by the way, when I talk about anybody, I'm giving you time on my show. I'm being nice if you don't see the joke. They're actually the nicest guys. Like, I've met pretty much everybody at Box Fan Expo, and the nicest guys are the ones I shit on. Literally, the nicest guys are the ones that I constantly shit on. They don't listen to the show. They're just aware of who we are, which is cute. It's very funny. Also, you're going to need a room for that weekend, right? Go to LasVegasDiscount.net. I put up the cheapest rooms. You can stay at the Stratosphere for $122 a night. That'll save you 27% right now. Don't stay at Circus Circus. They'll give you ringworm. And that's not allegedly. That's a fact. Stayed there for like $15 thinking I found my new cheap-ass hotel room, and I got ringworm from there. Screw that. I don't like Harrah's. You might get ringworm, allegedly. I don't want to get sued by the MGM Corp. We've talked about it. If you're going to spend the money, Rio, TI, I'd also recommend, because of the Canelo fight. Oh, man, it's not even on the list anymore, is it? Let's see how far down I have to go. Link's not bad at 168. Yeah, Park MGM, 177. It's still there, Andrew. I think that's your best bet. You got a recently remodeled hotel, brand new beds, brand new everything. I'm an MGM fan. I think that's your best bet. I really do. Now that the remodel's done, I like this. It puts me right out the back door to go to the fight. There's actually an entrance from the Park MGM into the T-Mobile Arena. This is a no-brainer. Park MGM at $177 a night, considering you're there for Cinco de Mayo weekend. You got your tip here first. Go to LasVegasDiscount.net. Go to Box Fan Expo. Buy your tickets for Box Fan Expo. And if you still need tickets, here's my little help for the industry, Andrew. Go to Ticketmaster. Not Ticketmaster, I'm sorry, Access. Tix.axs.com. It's Access for T-Mobile Arena. Shut up. Of course you're available. Don't tell me you're not available. I was just on here. Their tickets still available and at a reasonable price, which kind of worries me that people aren't paying for boxing because they've seen so much shitty boxing recently, Andrew. That's my absolute belief. Now the service is unavailable. You're lying. I was just on here. You can still get tickets for $200 a pop, Andrew. Where's the search bar? There's the search. I'm going to click on Canelo. There's the fight against Danny Jacobs. Click on it. Again, access.com, AXS. Click on tickets. And it's going to ask me if I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. Let's see if it's still not working. I bet it is this time. There we go. So at $200 a seat, Andrew, let's start right there. I could sit there for $200 a seat. Would you do that for $200 a seat for this fight?
No. Yeah. Yes, I would.
200, because you're going to move anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right. If you move it up to about 300 a seat, there you are. For those of you who actually stay in your seat, not like Andrew. Let's move it up to 400 and see what that gets me. Now I'm in the 400 range, so anything in the upper deck. To get me down to the next deck, I've got to spend, the numbers go up. I got to be in the 500 range to be in the lower corners. Would I pay 500 to be in 122 or an 8, Andrew? Is this worth 500 a ticket?
I mean, Lee, yes, if you're a fan and you're a big Canelo fan or Daniel Jacobs, of course it is. For guys that cover the sport.
All right, let's look at it the way I would look at it. Let's say I'm taking a date to Vegas and I want to get laid, right? Generally, she doesn't know anything about boxing. How much should I spend to impress her and make sure I get laid after the fight? 500 or more.
Yeah, you're going to have to go more because taking her to the second deck isn't really impressive, right? I mean.
Well, no, it's the first. These are risers. I'm not going to take her to the roof.
Yeah, but you're still in the second deck. I mean, it matters who you're dating. What if you're with the girl who's been to the ringside? Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, ring card girls. Yeah, that's the problem with banging ring card girls. I see your logic.
It matters who you're taking to the fight. You might get a girl who's just happy to be in the gosh darn building.
Oh yeah, no. Then you could sit in the upper deck, right? You can just get a common hoe and put her in the upper deck, and she'll still get dressed up like, "Oh, this is exciting." Listen, common hoe, you don't know. Don't be common hoes. If you're gonna spend $600 to $700 a ticket, you better be like a ring card girl at Thompson boxing level. I mean,
yeah. If you're taking one of Floyd's paid employees, yeah, man, you need ringside. You're gonna have to drop it.
All right, to get me onto the floor, I'm past $1,000, Andrew. Where do you think it's gonna pop?
Man, I was gonna say 1,200. It looks like it's going way past.
1,200. I'm still in a lifter.
Jeez.
And there it is.
Wow.
I gotta spend $1,500 to get on the floor. Common Ho can sit up on the third deck while I sit on the floor. I'll spend the $1,500 on me.
So they sold out basically.
Yeah, you can get some lower lifters down here. You're not far from
that fight is hard. That fight's
and you got a
going
straight
really
shot. $800 a ticket gets you a decent seat for this fight. But yeah, by and large, I think they did a really good job. I think they did a great job selling the fight. If you look at the sections, I'll tell this to anybody who's buying a cheap seat and moving down. These corners right off the ring, Andrew and I have known this. We've talked about it for years. Anything on ring corner, they charge the same egregious lower price ticket, right? Like $800. These should be about $600, right? But these sections always have empty seats on any of the ring. I'm giving you guys a tip for moving your seats. Show up early, get to know. Okay, let me explain how to do this. You pay the $200.
Yeah, but Lee, you're very hard on this fight to do your move up thing.
Right here, dude. These are better than $200 seats. Right here is better than a $200 seat, right?
Yes, that is true. Yeah, okay. I hear you on that one.
So I'm going to explain how to do it because maybe people aren't familiar with the process. So you spend your $200 a seat for up here somewhere in the nosebleeds. You come down at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon when the first fight happens. Yeah, you got to show up for the whole fight card, asshole. There's going to be a little guy who stands right here. Let me show you exactly where he's going to be. See that little gap? There's going to be a dude right there with a flashlight. Now, if you're white, just disregard everything I say and go to your seat. Okay? Lee, they don't check you for a ticket? No, I'm part of the club. If you are any other race, creed, or color, okay? I'm not being a dick about this. Andrew, I'm telling you the truth. Am I not? Am I being a dick?
Sometimes they'll say, everyone, please hold. You, come on. We know.
Yeah,
go on. You're
right,
good.
Right.
I seen him. Hey, Lee, I seen him earlier for your first time walking through. What the fuck?
Right. So here's exactly how I go to a fight. This is no bullshit. This is how I go to almost any event when I go by myself, Andrew. So out this door is going to be where food is. So I'm going to come in here early, and at 3 o'clock, trust me when I say this, one of these aisles will not have somebody at it. Okay? One of these aisles will not have somebody at it. But what you want to do is keep track on your cell phone of where the empty seats are, right up until 3 o'clock. And then find a row that's all empty seats. You're good to go. Start to create a relationship because when you walk out and go up, there will be a dude right here, right, who takes tickets, right? They are a very low IQ level. What you want to start to do is talk to them and create it. Dude, shit at this place. I have seen shit at this place that I've told stories and it doesn't even do, like, they hire people below minimum wage. My brother-in-law had the greatest line of all time when I took him to a fight. When this woman was fucking up a hot dog order. Literally fucking up a hot dog order. He looks at me and he goes, this is the top. This is the pinnacle of her work life. This is as far as she's going. And I went, she's not even doing that right. Like, she'd get fired at McDonald's for this skill level. Like, it was shockingly bad. Same thing for the people who work here. When you go up, the first time to go to the bathroom, create a relationship with this guy. Whatever you do while you're up there, get 2 handfuls of beer. So you don't have to show a ticket, dumbass. That's the move. Unless you're white, and then disregard everything I say and just, find a good seat. Generally, I like these lower ones in the corner. Any of these work. This right here, that's a good seat. That's a good seat. I like that seat. Nobody's going to pay $800 here's the seats right here and right here. Nobody is going to spend $1,200 for a ring corner right there. And I am telling you this point blank, section 17, for anybody who's paying attention to the show, that's a money spot that will be empty all night. How do I know? Because these seats up here for $800, nobody's buying. Trust me, nobody's spending $1,200 on these seats. Everybody around you will be from a hotel. That's the truth. Nobody is spending $1,200 on these seats. Nobody except a hotel. Nobody bought these seats for $1,200 to sit on a ring corner. Nobody sits here for $800 to what they believe will be a ring corner. By the way, the fight rarely winds up in that corner. It's generally in the middle of the ring. So I'm telling you how to do this fight. How'd I do, Andrew? Did I cover it well?
Very good. Yep.
Unless you're white, then disregard everything I say and just walk to the floor. Enjoy the fight. And by the way, do not, if you are white, do not pick a Hispanic or African American person, because they will shut your shit down. You want to pick a white guard and then show them the high sign that we've all learned at the Mason meeting, right? The high sign, and they'll let you right to the floor. And if you're white and you haven't learned the high sign, I don't know what to tell you exactly. Canelo versus Jacobs, Butterbean versus Kaljajajajajajovic. Fight times and schedules for the upcoming week. On Tuesday is the grand arrival. On Wednesday is the final press conference. On Thursday is the undercard final press conference. On Friday will be the weigh-ins at 4 o'clock. Canelo versus Jacobs will weigh in. ESPN Plus will cover all the weigh-ins. For some reason, the Butterbean Kaljajajajajovic fight will have a weigh-in in a different location. I don't even know what the logic is on that, Andrew. And then at 3:30 West Coast time are the prelims live on DAZN. And then at 4:30 Pacific is when the main card itself starts. And then all of that will be covered on Wednesday, and we'll get into greater detail. I'll probably be on site, but I just wanted to give you guys a head up to that. As a quick overview, Andrew, before we finish our last segment of the show, okay? Mm-hmm. We won't spend more than 20 minutes or 30 minutes here. I found an article that is the entire landscape depends on the results of these next 5 fights, which also lead into our pound-for-pound list. What would you rather start with? The pound-for-pound list and then the 5 crucial landscape fights per radio.com? Or do you want to discuss the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters that came out last week?
No, we'll do the pound-for-pound. I mean, this then leads into the pound-for-pound list. I'm interested in seeing what's going to change the landscape.
All right, landscape-changing fights. And by the way, I don't agree with it because I've already read the list. The first one, Canelo Alvarez taking on Daniel Jacobs. True or false? This is a landmark fight.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. So Alvarez is the face of boxing in North America. He's the face of DAZN. He's the only one making money for them. They cannot lose. So yes, this would drastically change the sport if Canelo was to take another defeat here.
Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Breazeale, undefeated heavyweight champion. Deontay Wilder talking shit and wanting to kill, by the way, not a joke, wanting to kill Dominic Breazeale in their upcoming fight at Barclays May 18th.
I'm going to say no. This would not change the landscape of boxing. It would hurt the careers of Joshua, Fury, and Wilder, but no, it wouldn't change history because he's the third best. He's the bronze bomber. Right now, the people that are going to make history is Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. That would be for the greatest heavyweight of this era. So no, this fight is not a game changer.
I'm going to add something to this. We'll go back up to the previous fight. Because Daniel Jacobs is clearly the underdog. We'll get into betting on Wednesday or Friday show. We will do additional shows, and we'll probably do something Saturday morning live. This is how I watch a fight. How excited would I be if Daniel Jacobs, on a scale of 1 to 10, how exciting would it be if Daniel Jacobs upset Saul Canelo Alvarez? How dramatic on a scale of 1 to 10 would it be?
You're asking me? It's going to be real dramatic. It's going to be real dramatic for you, especially. I think I know
you're a Canelo Alvarez fan, so I'm not even going to ask the question of how sad would it make you if Canelo lost. But I'm telling you, I would love to see Daniel Jacobs win the fight, and it's because he signed the $365 million contract. I like seeing fighters step on their dicks. I do. I love it. Fucking Deontay Wilder is the poster boy for stepping on his dick. This is why I brought it up. I want Dominic Breazeale to win so bad. Like, I'm telling you, it makes my nipples hard how hard I want Dominic Breazeale to win this fight. Like, I want everybody against Deontay Wilder. I want Deontay Wilder gone. I'm tired of looking in internet boxing forums about everybody talking about Deontay Wilder being better than he actually is. He still hasn't fought anybody. Bro, you got to draw because you got a lucky punch in the 12th. Don't tell me you planned that with your dangerous, even I'm scared by my power. You got your ass handed to you for 10 other rounds. You won 2 rounds. You won 2 rounds. You won 2 rounds in that fight. 2 rounds. I'll say it again. You won 2 rounds. And the only reason you won those 2 rounds is because you threw a punch. The rest of the time, some old gypsy dominated your ass for 10 rounds. Dominated. I don't know how much money they had to come up with to make that shit work in LA. I'm just telling you, I have never seen a more fixed fight in my life. Ever. And that could be because I want everybody to beat Deontay Wilder because I think he's a fraud. I'll say it again. Deontay Wilder's a fraud. Kelly King, write it down in your little notebook. Okay? Deontay Wilder's a fraud. He will get shown up. The reason he doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua is because he'll be shown as a fraud. It has nothing to do with the Steven Espinosa crap that we joke about. He doesn't want to fight Tyson Fury. He's not kicking and screaming that Tyson's running from him. You know why? Because he's going to lose that fight. Tyson's not going to make the same mistake twice. He's not. I digress. How excited would you be if Dominic Breazeale was the one to show up Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, it would just be sad. It would be one of those I told you so moments for Fight Net Radio.
That would be the title of the show. Deontay Wilder, I told you so.
Yeah. No, I mean, Lee, I'm already ready to say he's never going to make the money that him and Al Heyman have turned down the last few years, starting with the Klitschko title shot. So he's already behind the ball, in my opinion. I hope he makes some of it back. I do hope at one point he does get the pay-per-view rematch with Fury, and I do hope at some point he wakes up and signs the streaming app deal that's going to make him, at least have some of this money back. But at what is he, 34 years of age? I don't know how long he
I'll
thinks
even say this, Andrew. I'll even go this far. Let's say that Dominic Breazeale pulls a rocket out of his ass and wins this fight, right? For those of you who don't know, okay, Dominic Breazeale is the guy who only loss comes to Anthony Joshua, right? So let's just say that Dominic Breazeale pulls a rocket out of his ass and hits Deontay. He's going to get away with one excuse for the loss, right? And get a rematch to try to avenge it. Like he's got one redemption shot if he does lose. Like he slips on a banana peel and he loses.
Yeah.
You think he's immediately over?
I think the 50-50, all this shit about I want 50 million to fight Joshua, I want a 50-50 cut, split, all that's done if you lose to Breazeale. That's why it's sad but it's not game changing. Anthony Joshua losing is a game changer for the sport because of the simple fact that him versus Joshua, him versus Fury right now should be for the greatest British heavyweight champion of all time. That's what the title should already be for that fight. It's Joshua is the face of the heavyweight division along with Tyson Fury. Him versus John Ruiz is more of a game changer than Wilder versus Breazeale.
Okay, let's talk about that. Anthony Joshua, let's say that Eddie Hearn actually grows a set and makes it Andy Ruiz, which is a potentially dangerous fight. I think he's bigger and faster. Anthony Joshua is bigger and faster and can outbox him and be smart and just coast to a 12-round fight, right? And just pick apart that fat, chubby dude, right? Because
yes, Lee, I totally believe he's going to stay on the outside and pick the big guy apart. Yes, sir.
Right.
I mean, the guy's got arms of a T-Rex. Ruiz needs to get on the inside on this. Joshua's 6'8", 6'7".
But on paper, it looks like an epic fight. I think it does a lot for his career to take Andy Ruiz. I think it's an easy fight. Oh, no, he's still going to be a 2,000-1 favorite. I don't see how he wouldn't be.
Andy Ruiz is the only one that stepped up. And I'm sorry, Luis Ortiz, if it was your advisor who did not give you the phone call and tell you what you're making. You said no. Kawanaki said no. Who else said no? Wilder said no to $120 million to stay away from him. Okay, these guys have all said no. It's very sad, but no, I don't know. Go ahead.
I agree. Gennady Golovkin, Steve Rolls. All right, again, same rules apply here that apply in the Canelo fight. Gennady, win or lose, I think is still compelling going into a rematch with Canelo, right? I think it lowers his stock, but part of me would like to see Gennady step on his dick at 37 and lose to a 19-0, 10 KO guy. I think I would enjoy it. But I suspect we've taken, having reviewed Steve Rolls' work, my take on it is they tailor-picked an undefeated guy who's going to come straight at Gennady to literally flatten him. Like it's going to be a dramatic knockout. And based on the odds I've looked at, that's the way it's set up. How dramatic would it be from a loss standpoint, I think is the bigger deal here, right? To get to the trilogy with Alvarez.
Once again, I got to lean on the side of it. Hurts the careers of Canelo and Golovkin not to be able to cash the trilogy check, but it does not change the landscape of boxing. Gennady Golovkin is very old. He's already fought Canelo once, and however you see that fight, maybe 0-2, 2-2, 1-1, whoever you have winning, they've done it twice already. So we've kind of gotten our feel of them too. When you look at the middleweight division, he can do a rematch with Jacobs. If that May 4th turns out to be a bar burner, Canelo can fight Jacobs again. There's Jeff Horn is there. David Lemieux is there. Demetrius Andrade, Rob Brandt. There are a ton of names that Canelo can take on that he doesn't need Gennady Golovkin. And then you move up to the super middleweight, and you have the Gilberto Ramirez that is still there, and you have the middleweight champion of the world, Callum Smith is still there. Chris Eubank Jr. is there. Billy Joe Sanders is there. Jesse Hart is there. Their top-ranked fighter fought Ramirez twice. All of these guys are potential opponents for Saul Alvarez because Alvarez is the one everyone wants to see. As long as De La Hoya keeps giving Alvarez's fans the fights that they want to see, Triple G being one of them, and Daniel Jacobs, you can throw into the mix a Chris Eubank Jr. or a Billy Joe Sanders or even a Jesse Hart. You can throw fighters like this in there, a Rob Brandt, because he's given us the fights that we're asking for too.
Tyson Fury taking on Tom Schwartz. He's got to win this fight, 24-0, 16 KOs in Vegas, June 15th, literally 14 days after, assuming Anthony Joshua wins his fight. 2 weeks later, Tyson Fury has his fight. This is the setup, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same answer that I gave you for Joshua falls on Fury too. These guys are the ones that when if they were to fight right now, that's the future of the heavyweights. It's not the 35-year-old Deontay Wilder who's, fighting guys that are not even ranked.
Which leads directly into our top 10 pound for pound list. There are two of them that we generally look at or we discuss. They have two different groups voting on them. Generally, they line up. We'll start with the Ring magazine that actually started it. It's called the Ring Title. Then Oscar bought the Ring magazine, and I don't think it's quite the same anymore, but that's just me. In number one position is Vasily Lomachenko. Number two is Terrence Crawford. Number three is what?
That's it right there. Lomachenko Crawford. I'm telling you, they're building it. They're building it right now.
Canelo Alvarez in third position. Number four is Alexander Usyk, who seems to be flying up the chart, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Number five, Errol Spence. Number six, Gennady Golovkin. Number seven, Naoya Inoue, who you heard me literally drool over just a few segments ago. I would assume now that Sor Rungvisai lost, we move Daniel Estrada into that position-ish. Number nine is still Mikey Garcia. And by the way, this is after his loss, bro. I don't even understand this one.
Yeah, this is all stupid. It's not updated. You're looking at something.
No, it's updated. Look, it's 39-1.
Oh, Oscar. Yeah,
I'm not joking.
Oscar
and number
owes
10
Robert
is
Garcia.
Dani Nietes. Okay, let's start in reverse order. Why the hell is Dani Nietes on this list?
He's a 3-division champ. He just moved up to the Sorunga size weight division. What is that? The super flyweight, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's from the mini weight. 104 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever that is. He comes from there, 3 divisions up, won a title every one. He's one of the guys that I believe Estrada will be gunning for here in the near future. That is a big fight for him. I did not know the Ring had him number 10 pound for pound. That's a positive.
It's crazy.
Hey,
it's
that's
crazy.
huge. That's huge for Estrada, though, who already has big fights with a lot of known fighters. I mean, to get 2 pound for pound guys in the division that they're in, you don't see that too many times for smaller fighters. So what an upside for both of these guys. Really, if Nietes was smart, he would go after Rungvisai too, just to get that on his resume.
Here's my first problem. Why isn't Anthony Joshua on this list?
They hardly listen. This is their argument for the heavyweights not getting a lot of credit on the pound for pound list. They say the pound for pound list was made because of the heavyweight champ. Back in the day, everyone considered the heavyweight champ as being the best athlete in the world. Then Sugar Ray Robinson, I believe, came, and that's where the pound for pound list got made after. They wanted to give Sugar Ray credit for being as good as he was. So that's why this thing got made, and they kind of keep heavyweights off of it unless you have a talent like a Mike Tyson, where Joshua hasn't shown, even though he's undefeated, his power is great. He hasn't shown the skill set that Mike had when he was, 20 years old? The hand speed, the combinations, the head movement. Mike had it all when he was coming up in the rankings. 19 straight knockouts in the first round, I believe it is, a record. So yeah, that's why heavyweights are usually left off of the list, Lee.
It doesn't matter. It's flawed just by that thought.
I hear you.
Explain number 9 to me, because I
No, it's bullshit.
can't even
Number
understand.
9. Yeah, number 9's bullshit. Mikey never proved himself at the lightweight division. Okay, he unified against Robert Easter. Great. There was a guy by the name of Vasily Lomachenko that everyone wanted to see him fight. He said no. Didn't fight. It's very flawed why Mikey Garcia is still on the list. I have no idea. I got no argument.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Lee, Gennady Golovkin is on that list because of the fucking draw, right? He won that fight. He won that fight. That's why he's still there. There's 1,000 people, 1 million people still think he won the first fight with Canelo. Mikey Garcia, nobody thinks he did anything against Spence. I don't know. I don't know.
This next line is all very interesting to me. Okay, let's just go in order. So Rungvisai lost. He was in that position because he beat Chocolito, who's the man who beat the man, as they kept hammering into our head on the telecast. Right. So I guess Estrada gets a nod now for the list, whatever the case. In a way, I get, but dude, it's 17 fights, 15 KOs.
That's right.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, because I do think the dude is that gifted, but you haven't fought anybody yet. You haven't. Beating up nobodies doesn't.
I know. They know he's gonna be a star over there, though, Lee.
It really bothers me how political top 10 lists have become. I agree with you. Gennady Golovkin got a draw. He's off the list, right? That's just reality. It's just reality. Yeah. You have a loss. You have a draw to this guy. This 3-6 thing is not cutting it for me. Errol Spence Jr. Again, who's he fought, Andrew?
Hey, I'm gonna give it to you. These are the two names that made him a pound for pound fighter: Cal Brook and Mikey Garcia.
Brooks.
Yeah.
Cal Brooks.
And that is after Cal Brook had eye surgery because of what Gennady Golovkin did to him when he fought him. His eye was detached and his bone was broke. He comes back and he quits against Spence. And now all of a sudden, I believe Spence was pound for pound after Cal Brook, but then he just had his fight with Mikey Garcia, and here we are at number 5.
And this dude's only at number 4 after being the first guy to unify the cruiserweight division, winning the Boxing Super Series, which means he beat everybody at cruiserweight. This dude beat every single cruiserweight out there. So when he knocks out
fastest, dude, Lee, he's the fastest to unify. He does it in people's backyards. Every champion he beat was like in their hometown. He does it against undefeated guys. Like, Usyk is the real deal. Seriously, they need to go after Deontay Wilder. If I was Usyk's people, I would be all over Deontay's shit. Get that WBC strap for him and move on with Fury and Joshua and leave Deontay to the side.
Right. How is he number 4? This guy's got a loss and 2 draws. This guy really has, I don't want to shit on Crawford because he is talented, but he hasn't really fought anybody either. He's got a couple of notable wins, but he's talented. I'm not going to deny that he's talented.
I hear you.
And Vasily Lomachenko, who still is 13-1. I can't get over the loss. How's this guy even in the top 10 at all?
Hey, Lee. Not only does he have a loss that he never got back, wasn't he just dropped by Jorge Linares in round 9?
Right. And this dude at number 4 has destroyed everything in a Mike Tyson-like destruction path that has never been seen in boxing, and he's only number 4. Well, he's only fought 16 fights. Yeah.
Yeah, but 4
champions.
All
against people.
Yeah, 4 champions, and they're all in their, like I said, the biggest thing was he fought them all in their hometown. It's insane.
He fought and destroyed them all. Andrew. Fought and destroyed them all.
And he's going to the heavyweights.
Let's move over to Yahoo. That should be more uninfluenced, shouldn't it?
Oh, this is pound for pound again?
Yeah, we're going to look at one more pound for pound list.
Okay.
This one has more of a wide variety.
Oh, my God.
Number 10, they've got Regis Progress.
Hey,
I don't disagree with that. I think that's fair.
That's the build-up. So now look, you guys, on Yahoo's thing, Top Rank has 3 people out of my tournament that are in the top 10 pound for pound. You see where I'm going with that tournament of the pound for pound best? You get it, Lee?
Yep.
Hey, I'm telling you, you heard it on Fight Net a while ago. Go ahead.
So for those of you who don't know, Yahoo's top 10 is made up of it's like everybody from Ring, everybody from Yahoo, and they all vote here. Okay. So theoretically, this one should be the most uninfluenced of the pile. At number 10 is Regis Progress. We've talked about it. He got the win last night. I think he's great at number 10. I think he's been impressive. I still don't think he's fought anybody, but 23-0 with 19 KOs. He wins his belt. He's going to win this series, Andrew. No doubt.
And Lee, like you last night though, we looked up the record. He has his last 4 fights. It's like Top Rank said, okay, you beat that guy, let's go this one. Oh, you beat him, let's go here. And he's passed. Last night, you said Mayweather, I said Whitaker with power. With power. I mean, you guys, when you talk about hit and not be hit, that saying in boxing used to be you draw a line in the middle, the 2 fighters put their hands there, and they box. I get the moving around the ring has become a part of boxing. But last night we seen Progress when he was going in for the kill. He was able to dodge these punches. This man is right in front of him. This man is a world champ.
It was pretty unbelievable skill. Woo! If nothing more, all that I saw last night was anybody who's got a belt up here, right? Hooker, Banachek, Ramirez. He's already taken care of Relic. He's a force to be reckoned with. He can easily unify this division. None of these guys are under any major contracts. He is a doorstep away from jumping into the welterweight division, and he would be an absolute. He's got power, dude. And if he's still growing at 29, he could be a legit threat at welterweight. I don't think he'll ever get a fight.
Go back to the junior welterweights, Lee.
Yeah. You mean super lightweight?
Junior welterweight or junior
super
lightweight right there. Yeah. Super lightweight, yes.
There you go.
He's Ivan Brocknuck. Brocknuck, how do you say that name? 19-0. He's fighting Josh Taylor, 14-0. So Progress, his final fight for the World Boxing Series Championship will be against another undefeated fighter.
Right, and another belt on the line, and it'll be the WBO this time for a unification bout. So he'll be WBA, WBO, and WBC silver something or other if he wins that fight.
With the Ali trophy, yes.
With the Ali trophy. I think his stock goes up. He's only going up 7 pounds. The amount of power that I saw and the way he throws that punch, what the scariest thing, by the way, I can't recommend it enough, go watch the fight, is the fact that at round 5 or 6, when most people are huffing and puffing and in a tough fight, this dude is casually sitting down and not breathing. Like to the point where I'm convinced that he's taking chemicals. He was that calm.
He got the Miller. He got the 515010
in him, bro. Dude sitting in the corner, casually arms up on the ring, right? Not breathing out of his mouth. He's breathing through his nose at round 6. And he is throwing as hard as I've seen anybody try to throw a punch. He's throwing them hard. It's visually, you could see how hard he's throwing that punch.
In June of 2017, he took on the undefeated prospect of Top Rank, Joel Diaz, knocked him out in 2 rounds. He then followed that up in 2018 with the once defeated Julius Ndungu, who was a 2-time junior welterweight champ, had only lost when trying to unify with the one and only Terrence Crawford. He then follows that up with the title defense against the undefeated Juan Jose Velasco. He then follows that up with the title defense against a once beaten Terry Flanagan. And then last night takes a WBA title off of the hands of a 23-2 Relic, who everyone knows beat Bartholomew twice. They gave the first fight, they gave a controversial decision, split decision, majority decision. I forgot what it was. They gave it Bartholomew. They rematched that fight. He beats Bartholomew, I believe, by stoppage in the second fight. And so he should be once beaten WBA champ that Progress now beats, and you're telling me he's following that up with once again an undefeated fighter? Yes, this kid belongs on the pound-for-pound ranking for the junior welterweight division.
And I said this last night with Andrew. I said, based on that math, he could have stepped into the ring with both Easter and Bartholomew and probably beaten them both up. Beating them both up while their fight was going. Like, they would have had to work together to stop this dude. And he probably could have taken them both. He could have probably fought him back-to-back based on their work output and based on the insane level of cardio he produced. I don't think this dude's getting enough props.
And Lee, you called a great fight. His head movement, his power, his angles. Are you serious? Him versus Lomachenko? You're telling me this is not a great fight?
It's the fight of the year.
It's a great fight, man. There's a lot of similarities there.
It's literally the nerd fight of the year. It's the internet boxing. Like, if you're a real internet boxing fan and you're not a PBC shill or a Deontay Wilder fan, like you, Kelly King. Shout out to Kelly King.
Oh, why are you dogging them?
I'll shit on all of the FNR regulars. Give me time. I'll do it. From a really nerdy fantasy booking standpoint, Andrew, Progress versus any welterweight, Progress versus any lightweight, I'm putting my money on Progress. I mean, he can't wear that fucking mask to the ring, but and put your kid down, all right? The only thing that would have been more entertaining is maybe Regis's kid against Relic last night, because Relic wasn't in that fight. When your corner's already saying, dude, this fight's going to be over. This, like, you're getting your shit handed to you in that ring. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's how dominating it was. And he did it for 5 people last night, Andrew. That's the sad reality.
Oh, sad report, yeah.
How is Leo Santa Cruz?
Oh, let me tell you something. Yeah. And let me tell you something. Right now, if you woke up, you're pretty nervous being a guy named Mikey Garcia, right? You left welterweights because Terrence Crawford got your
talking
number
about going
there.
back down. So what, you're going to fight Progress, asshole?
Hey, you go down. You got Ramirez and Progress now. They're both top-ranked guys fucking at 1 and 2. Right. You might have to deal with these guys. Oh, you know what? Let's go to Lomachenko's there. You're pretty nervous if you're named Mikey Garcia this morning.
He can't go below lightweight. He's already moved up to the welterweights and got a shit handed to him there. That leaves super lightweight. What are you going to do? Fight Progress, dude? Seriously, you're a free agent. He's a free agent. By the way, from a nerdy perspective, if you want to fix your career, Mikey Garcia, let me give you a heads up tip. Fight Progress after the Super Series. And if you really think you can beat him, which you can't, you can't. I mean, I'm going to be honest. You were all hyping. You had it all fixed for you by the PBC.
He might
and now
retire.
that they cut your shit loose, you're going to get your shit. Yeah, he was a protected fighter, dude.
Yeah, he might retire because you know what? He's got to look at Bob Arum in the eyes again, and I don't know if he wants to do that. These two burned their bridge so bad. You're telling me Mikey's whole future could be working with Top Rank again? He might be out, you guys.
There you go. I don't understand Leo Santa Cruz on this list at all.
Nope.
I don't know who voted for him, how he got on the list, or how he continues to be on the list. We've already talked about it. Look, 39-1, dude. They're going to let him slide and stay in the 8th position. I don't get it, Andrew. I don't. When you look at the lightweight division, okay, let's look at the lightweight division. By the way, I use the IBO. We've talked about it previously on the show. There's no feeling on the IBO website other than it's all done by computer calculation, right? Based on their wins and losses and the quality of opponents. It's Vasily Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia, who's now dropped the belt.
He dropped the belt. Yeah, he's not going back. Mikey's going to 140. As of last week. As of last night, I don't know where he's going.
Right. If I watch the Progress fight thinking I'm going to move into this division and clean it all up and unify the title because that way I don't have to fight Vasily Lomachenko, you're crazy, bro. You got to run into Progress. Like, I wouldn't want to see that dude in an alley. I mean, that's just
matter of
reality.
fact, that could be Terrence Crawford. Look, if they can chase Mikey around, because he only has 1 defeat, right? seriously, Lee, when they announced the welterweight future, I don't think Crawford's going to have any part of it. They could do a thing where they're chasing Mikey around, still go on with the tournament, Prograis, Lomachenko, and all them, but have Mikey on their sights the whole time. Just chase them right out of the sport. It's a good fight for both guys. Crawford, Mikey Garcia is a pay-per-view fight. There's no reason why that fight shouldn't be made today, even with the defeat to Spence. I don't see Mikey taking it. Who knows what happens?
So Mikey dropped the belt. So that means that Robert Easter and,
right.
and Bartholomew got a shot at the vacant title last night, which I can't, based on this list, even figure out how that occurred.
Now, wait a minute. No, didn't they get the shot at Come's title? Are you sure it was?
Comey drop his strap at the? I thought it was Garcia. I thought it was WBC.
Oh, maybe it was. You're probably right. Maybe it was.
I don't know how that fight came to be, right? Because Bartholomew isn't even ranked anywhere on this. Well, whatever. Robert Easter shouldn't have been. It should have been. There are too many other names to really. By the way, this is where I insert the WBC is corrupt. The WBC is corrupt. The WBC is corrupt. And in the pocket of the PBC. At number 7, Gennady Golovkin, going to be honest, he'd be off my list because you lost and you drew. I'm just being honest on how I would score it. He doesn't deserve to be on the list. I'm just being honest. You guys all think I'm a Gennady Golovkin homer. Andrew, would Gennady stay on your list?
Would Gennady Golovkin? No, because I had him clearly losing against Canelo. So if Canelo's on the list, you can't have the guy that lost
Gennady
him on the
Golovkin,
list.
Right. I completely agree. I don't know how Mikey Garcia is on the list. It should be like Mikey Garcia, if you're going to put Errol Spence on the list, right, who he lost to, wouldn't you just put him slightly above Mikey Garcia based on that math? I mean, based on the math. But I digress. Canelo Alvarez.
And Lee, it makes the sport look like we're at a standstill. When you have 2 spots of the best fighters in the world filled by guys that just took defeats, you're making the sport look like
big defeats.
Yeah, these are major fights. I mean, like, there's a unified champ in the 154 division who's undefeated, Jared Hurd. And the last time I checked, he defeated his name Esrilandi Lara for one of his titles. That's a great win by a guy who was avoided for a very long time. Why isn't he taking up number 10 or one of the lower spots? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And again, in what I consider just criminal, Alexander Usyk is only number 5 on this list. It's criminal. It's criminal. It's criminal. You boxing writers should be ashamed of yourself. It's criminal. It's criminal. Below Naoya Inoue. Are you kidding me?
Estrada's name belongs on the list.
Well, Rungvisai doesn't make their list at all on this list, which is impressive, right? Sor Rungvisai is not on the Yahoo pound for pound list, which at least gives it a certain level of credibility in my mind. But this bottom thing happening down here, this is political voting by people who voted for people on this list. I mean, I'm just being honest. The guys from Oscar's camp got Canelo. The people from DAZN got Gennady on their list. The people who work for PBC got Mikey Garcia. I guess. I don't know who's in Mikey Garcia's camp to get Mikey Garcia on this list. This Leo Santa Cruz thing is baffling beyond words. Maybe you and I don't understand boxing, Andrew. Maybe we're stupid. Have you thought that?
Yeah.
Where we're completely wrong?
Yes, sometimes.
Vasily Lomachenko is 13-1. He lost to a dude he didn't avenge the loss to at number 3. Again, I like Bob. I love Top Rank. I will pimp their fights until my head explodes. But to be perfectly honest, until he avenges that loss, he can't be in the top 10. He cannot be. He cannot be. I'll say it again. He cannot be. He cannot be. Styles make fight. It was a rare situation. He cannot be. Andrew, he cannot be.
I hear you.
But we could be wrong. Maybe we don't know shit about boxing. What makes Steve Kim, Dan Raphael, wait, I could go down all the list of people that voted on this list. What makes them more special about their knowledge of boxing as compared to us? There's no boxing school to go to, is there? That I'm aware of. I could be wrong. Is there a boxing or boxing writers school to go to?
No.
Okay.
So?
What have we learned, Andrew?
That there will soon be a pound-for-pound tournament coming. I'm going to stick to that, Lee. You guys remember where you heard it first. Start telling Bob. If Bob already isn't working that out, if those plans are already been started, might as well get it kick-started. It's going to destroy the PBC.
Andrew,
What?
I already have pound for pound. You know how much it costs? A lot. I don't want to burst anybody's bubble in boxing. You just pay for what fighter you want in the top 10. Jesus, the shit I had to do to get Vasily Lomachenko on that list is criminal.
On Yahoo's pound for pound,
yes,
they have Vasily Lomachenko, Terrence Crawford, and Prograis. Who's the boxing whisperer? Who's the most powerfulest man in the sport?
Oh, it's Bob Arum, no doubt. And look, I'll go a step further. The guy who put it all together is Kevin Iole, who's located in Vegas, who's the one who broke the Manny Pacquiao story. Like, Kevin Iole is the most connected man in Vegas to boxing, by far. By far. By far. Okay? Literally by far. And the two people at the top in the top positions, number 3 and number 1, are top-ranked fighters. And they want Errol Spence up there because we're building him up to fight either Crawford or Lomachenko.
Crawford, yeah, that's the only reason.
But the minute, I'll say this right now for the Yahoo list. Mark my words, this is going to be another Lee Honest futurist boxing prediction. You ready, Andrew?
Mm-hmm.
If Errol Spence in his next fight doesn't fight Crawford and fights some bullshit PBC fight, he'll drop down on the list. You heard it here first.
Yeah, and he should. If Terrence Crawford, there's a risk of that happening to him. You said it earlier for him too.
Bob Arum's in Vegas.
He needs a big fight.
This is all politics.
He needs a big fight. Lee, you can't continue to be the pound-for-pound king and not fight pound-for-pound caliber fighters. Terrence Crawford needs a big fight here soon.
Go to fightnetradio.com. Please click on the Facebook link or go to Facebook and type in Fight Net Radio. Click on the events. Make sure to get your tickets for the Fight Net Radio meet and drink. Make your plans to be in Vegas with me on Saturday. I will buy you, I think we only get coffee, dude. Unless I really bring, an ice chest, right? And like have a parking lot party. But
you love this Box Fan Expo, don't you?
I don't love the Box Fan Expo, dude. I just promised that I would promote the fucking thing. I don't. Truthfully, I know they're not watching this, so I'm going to shit on it. You ready?
Oh my gosh. No, don't do that. Do not do that.
That line that they show at the beginning of their video that wrapped around before everybody went in, it's because they opened an hour late last year.
He's a dick.
I don't get my letter till tomorrow. Let's see if it makes a difference. I don't care. I'm already on the fence with the boss about me going to Vegas next Saturday. Look, I could swap out credentials and go up to Stockton since you can't go on Saturday and be just as happy, bro. I'm saying it right now. They run it. I don't think that they run it for the size of people that actually show up. They get all these writers. They get all these different podcasts. They get all the different video sources, like all of us internet boxing, all of us broadcast community to pimp the shit out of this. So the reason I want to go, I want new airdrops for the beginning of the show. I'll call it exactly for the reason I want to go. I want to go and get James Toney to go, lights out, baby, lights out all day. That's the only reason I'm going, bro. That's the only reason I'm going, is to get cool airdrops for the intro at the beginning of the show. That's the only reason I go. There's no other reason. Talking to the fight fans is dumb. I like watching amateur boxing. They did amateur boxing this year. I don't know if they're doing it again this year. But they had USA Amateur Boxing with the Kids. I dug that. I liked seeing the fighters, right? They don't seem to frown upon me taking pictures with the fighters like they do at regular events. And I don't have to wait in line like the rest of the dipshits who paid their money. I just walk right up and get my interview and get my photo and move right on. Because I'm media and I help sell the event. So that's the advantage of me going, right? So if they actually hear this or it gets back to them and they go, no, fuck you. All right, cool. You're not hurting my feelings. I mean, I can tell you for a fact that I've moved tickets for their event. And I don't think everybody else can do that. I actually did real marketing for them. So look, the upside of getting Fight Net Radio is we actually move tickets. We do real marketing for our events. The downside, I'm going to say this to all promoters and all people. I'm not going to change just because I like you. What, are you out of your mind? The fans we actually have, Andrew, I guess I'm doing the outro to the show. The fans we actually have to this show are listening because we're real, right? That's it. I don't know stats fantastically. I don't know the history of boxing as well as some people. I'm not Steve Kim. I'm not Dougie Fisher. I'm not Coyote. I'm not Dan. I'm not even Kevin Iole. I mean, I'm just being brutally honest, and neither is Andrew. He's not. Andrew's probably got a better history knowledge than I do. I have no history knowledge. I'm not even sure what I ate last night while I was watching boxing. Okay? I'm going to be honest. But I know what is entertaining, and I know what bullshit is when I smell it, and I have predicted more shit that happens at boxing than anybody I've ever seen. By far. By far. Right down to DAZN and ESPN Plus. Fucking called that a year in advance. How was that for the end of the show for you, Andrew?
Very good.
Really? All right, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, you guys. See you
Wednesday.
Fight
week.
week.
Ready.
Yep.
We have Canelo. Yep. We got 3 shows coming up. Mark your schedule. We'll have a Wednesday show. We'll have a Friday show. We'll probably have a Saturday morning show. It's a big fight weekend. If you want, go to our fight. I can't stress this again, right? Go to fightnetradio.com. Wind up on our main homepage. Click like and follow it. You'll get live updates. You'll get videos from the events. If I do go to Box Fan Expo, if they haven't fired me from it, they're going to send me, dude. Because I can physically show them how many tickets I've sold for them. Nobody else can do that. If they want to shit on me, that's cool. I'm all right with it. I'm literally okay with it, dude. I'm literally okay with it. I'm not losing sleep. But go to this page. You can, what you want to do is send us a message through Instant Messenger. Like these guys have been having a chat all morning, Andrew. By the way, these are the FNR regulars. They're getting a shout out right now. So Rosales and Kelly King, what's up with the fighters nowadays, homie? At least Canelo is holding it down. I don't know. He's got to win the fight. Got to be honest. Rosales, yeah. I feel like I need to do a voice for Rosales. Should I do a voice, Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh, Kelly King. That's all want. They all want the big money and don't give us the fights we want. Canelo has always fought top guys. Yes, fielding was a joke, but they are followed a gimme here. And that's why I'm okay with Triple G fighting Rolls in June. So long as we get the trilogy later this year, but Crawford versus Spence, AJ versus Wilder, even Loma versus Davis are fights that should be made right now. I hate the Maypac buildup they are going for now. Kelly King, yo, bruh, what it be like? The cash cow tactics suck. Don't people realize how that Maypac shit sucked the life out of boxing? They should follow suit on what Canelo is doing. We'll see who Triple G fights next. Did you like the voices for him, Andrew? By the way, if you want to be a part of that chat, go ahead. Go to Fight Net Radio. Andrew and I actually interact with these people. And they're going to fucking light me up for doing shitty voices for them. I'll hear about it. I will. Will I not hear about it, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Are you already moving on in your day?
Huh?
I feel like you're not even here with me at the end of the show.
I'm waiting for the commercial to end, Lee.
For what?
I'm trying to be quiet so you can finish your commercial.
Bye, everyone. Wednesday, mark your calendars. If you're not signed up, go to fightnetradio.com. Sign up on whatever broadcast you want. 3 shows. Wednesday will be news and whatever crazy announcements are going to happen this week. They usually happen by Wednesday at the final press conference. Friday's the weigh-in. Saturday morning should be Box Fan Expo, probably feedback from fighters at the Box Fan Expo. Or we'll have live announcements from Stockton for the top-ranked fights. You'll get one or the other out of Fight Net Radio this weekend. So enjoy. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Fight Net Radio. FightNetRadio.com. Fight Net.